5929 to learn how constructors bonding is your solution to better bonds.
One of the most common questions people ask is if they can still afford to retire on $1 million or $2 million anymore. With stocks near all-time highs and bonds at all-time lows, it's actually a great question. 2008 taught millions of retiring engineers, teachers, and other professionals a costly lesson that years of market gains can be wiped out in just weeks of market losses. Not a problem if you're 30 years old with a few decades to make it back, but not if you are in retirement or almost there. I like to follow the 30, 50, 70 rule. The closer you are to 50 or 70, then at least 30 to 50% of your money should be kept safe at all times, like in an uncapped, principal secure, next generation annuity. Come and see why.
Call leading annuity authority Steve Jurich now at 480-902-3333. Guarantees rely on the financial strength of the insurer, so compare with Steve. Call 480-902-3333 and visit iqannuity.com.
Eating, working, living pain-free. These are a few of the things many of us take for granted. Yet for many United States military veterans, finding and affording oral health care is a challenge. Dental Lifeline Network is looking for dentists who can change this. Will you volunteer to help people like Richard, a U.S. naval veteran who suffered severe PTSD after his service? He was left homeless for a period of time, and his oral and overall health are suffering. Because of congressional limitations, the VA can't provide the dental help he needs. Through our Will You See One Vet program, we focus on helping U.S. military veterans like Richard. Now we are seeking more general dentists and specialists to donate treatment to at least one veteran with special needs. When you volunteer with DLN's program to see one vet, we handle the details so you can focus on the care. If you are a dentist or know a dentist, please share this message and help us make a difference in the life of a veteran in need. Visit willyouseeonevet.org to learn more. That's willyouseeonevet.org.
KQFN Tempe, also transmitting on K25CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM and K240U Rollins Hills at 95.9 FM.
All right, people, settle down because it's time.
Time for what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show. Let's do it.
All right, everybody, it's Monday here on the Daily Blender. I'm your good friend, your radio pal, Jeffrey O'Brien, alongside Randy White. Got Keon Rose in the control room, and you guys are on the Fanatic text line, 888-368-1580, as we broadcast live in the Harman Solar Studios in Scottsdale. All right, so I was gone on Thursday and Friday, and a lot of stuff happened. I'm sure you guys covered everything. Like, for instance, I'm pretty sure you talked about how LeBron James became a millionaire, right?
Well, billionaire.
But yeah, a billionaire. Yes. Right. He became a billionaire. I'm sure you covered the ideas like, well, if you're a billionaire, dude, why do you have something that looks like Chia Pet on your head? Well, maybe get that taken care of.
We went in depth.
Okay.
We went in depth as only the blender can.
Yeah, I would have been disappointed if you didn't, because that's been a mystery. I mean, as a millionaire, you should be able to get that under control. You know what I'm saying? Or just don't care about it. You know, shave your head during the season and then put on the Chia during the off season where, you know, it won't come off when you're sweaty. So, all right. So I just want to make sure that was all covered. That was one of the things that struck me. You know, LeBron James is a billionaire. Good for him. Congratulations to him. Set for life and still running up and down the court, sweating like that. It wouldn't take $1 billion for me to retire. I'll tell you that right now. If I had let's say if I had 10 million, I'd be like, you know, I've done my part. I'm out. I mean, you about need that sort of money to retire these days the way the inflation is. But yeah, billion? No, not and still run up and down the court. I mean, I get it. He got $90 million in Fenway Sports Group. He's got about 80 million in real estate. He's got 30 million in that Blaze Pizza. Mediocre. That's 10% of the company right there. And then he's got like $500 million in investments and stuff. He's got a lot of this money tied up in investments. So he's a billionaire till one of those things fails. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's not like he's got $1 billion in the bank right now.
But he's got some, because of the money's in sports franchises, a couple. He's got the Red Sox thing that you mentioned, but he's also got the Liverpool soccer team that he's a minority owner of. So he's got his money tied up in some place. And then he's got that lifetime contract with Nike that will always pay out.
Yeah, money makes money. You know what I'm saying? Money makes money, and he's being smart and he's using his money to make money. And as you know, he wants to own his own NBA team someday. But as the prices go up, I mean, his pile of money has to grow bigger. He has to have, if he wants to own it outright on his own, that he's going to have probably what, $5 billion? Got to, I mean, a couple billion at least for an NBA franchise, right? I mean, maybe more. I don't know what they're valuing these things at now.
Yeah, they're in the multiples of billions right now. I think if you wanted like to get like a really bad team, I mean, that's still going to cost you, 2 or 3 billion.
Because that's what I want to buy, a bad team.
I'm saying
a bad team is 3 billion.
Because the good teams are in that 4 billion, maybe even 5 billion
right.
range.
So here's what I'm saying though: if you're going to buy a team, you still want to have money left over in case things go horrible over there, right? So if you're going to buy a $3 billion team, you should have $4 billion. That billion just to live on, just in case. Yeah, everything fails, you at least have $1 billion to make it through the rest of the way on. And with the way, like I said, inflation's going, I don't know if any of us can get there without being a billionaire. So, okay, well, that's, like I said, I don't mind him as a guy, but I just don't care for him as a player. You know what I mean? I don't know. No, I don't like him as a player. And I've enjoyed what's happened to him lately as a player.
I like him as a player. But he does have the locker room diva aspect of him that is hard to enjoy.
Well, locker room diva, court diva, he's a flopper. The same day he goes down with an injury and lies there for what was it, like 30 seconds. Kevin Pillar got his face destroyed by a fastball, and he was up in 15 seconds and walking off the field like a man should. I lose respect for LeBron the player, but you can't deny what he's done as a guy. There's some political crap he's said that maybe you agree with, you don't agree with, but he does help his community. He does, succeed in business. There's lots of reasons to give him a tip of the hat, even if you don't like him as the player. So, I don't want to start a whole big thing here because LeBron is a polarizing figure to say the least.
No doubt about it. But the guy's played 17 years in the NBA and at a high level every single season, though you're still waiting for that fall off, and it hasn't really happened. I got to respect him at least for that. And then on top of the success that he's had off the court.
Let me tell you one thing though. If I find out LeBron James owns Cox Communications, then I'm going to hate him as a person too. I hate Cox Communications because now, do we have Randy back yet? Because the whole time we've been sitting here, Randy's internets have been failing him. Hi, Randy.
Is this on?
Yes, you're
Am
on.
I back?
You're back. You're front.
Is that you, Jeffrey? Is
Yes.
that you, Jeffrey?
It's me, Jeffrey O'Brien. Do you remember me?
I remember that voice. I remember that voice. You were on assignment last I heard. Yes.
Yeah. On assignment. Probably going to go on assignment here pretty soon too. But this time, I'm going to do no cutesy cover story. I'll be honest with what's going on, but we'll I'm going to be taking some time off. Don't worry, it's not COVID, not having a surgery, nothing weird like that. It's just work stuff.
Nothing crazy.
Yeah, I'm not testifying in a mob trial. It's any of the other weird things that we might come up with. I'll explain that later. But 888-368-1580. Mr. Pringle says, I finally get a chance to tune into my 6th favorite radio program today. And Randy. No, Randy's here.
I'm
just
here.
the internet's.
Yeah, it's the internet's.
By the way, I tried to tell you this the other day. I don't know if you got the message, but my son was here at the house and he had the show up on the big screen TV, through the YouTube.
Yeah.
And as we're sitting here doing the show, my dog Buddy is sitting there by his side, and your dog Cecil walks in the room and just jumps on the couch.
Mm-hmm.
Buddy lost his mind. Just, he wanted to play with the dog on the TV.
The wonder dog, there he is.
Yeah, he saw that dog. He saw him in motion. He's like, oh, I want to play. Yeah, I thought my son thought he was going to go through the TV screen just to play with him. I've never had a dog that's watched TV like this dog. This dog, as soon as I turn on the TV, he turns around and looks and says, ooh, I wonder if dogs will be on there. And if a dog is ever on there, he starts barking at the screen. Sometimes he's wagging his tail. Other times he's just like, get out of here. You're a bad dog. That sort of thing. But yeah, I just wanted you to know that he has seen Cecil and he can't wait to play with him.
Oh, that's fun. All right. We'll have to get them together.
Berg says, happy Monday, guys. Hope you had a great weekend. Well, it was a pretty good weekend, I guess. The Golden State Warriors turned it into a better weekend by winning, that game at home against the Boston Celtics. And, Steph Curry with 29 points and Jordan Poole with his Steph Curry-esque half-court shot was all
That was
fun.
crazy. That was crazy.
It's just, I don't know where this damn series is going. One team has a blowout, then the next team has a blowout. And I feel like everybody needs to calm down on this because we don't know anything yet. It feels like we don't really know anything yet because the Celtics went on a 48-18 run in the first game. The Warriors went on a 43-14 run in this game. I don't know what to make of any of it yet. Maybe are they still sniffing each other's butts, Keon, trying to get to know each other?
I think they're past that point. I
honestly, what the
honestly,
hell was this?
And this is why I think that Steve Kerr is a fantastic coach. And I will not listen to anybody who says, oh, he's just successful because he's got Steph.
There was a good point to the question before when the Warriors were just in a tear and he went out with leaky spine and Luke Walton was able to coach the team and become coach of the year or whatever it was. And, guess we don't need Steve Kerr. At least at that moment, you could make a good case for it. But go ahead and make your case for it to go the other way.
Here's my case. Steve Kerr took his entire offense, balled it up, threw it in the garbage, and then ran an offense. They don't run. They were 29th in the league in pick and roll offenses this past season. They ran 2 times as many pick and rolls as they've ever run in a game this entire season. I have never seen a coach do this. The Warriors don't do a lot of pick and roll, and it's not because they can't. It's because their offense is about cutting and moving.
Can't
the
or
ball.
won't, Keon.
They wouldn't do it before because
he missed that Archer reference right there.
I did, didn't I? Yeah, no, they absolutely can do it, and they did it. That's exactly what they did yesterday. They don't run a pick and roll offense until yesterday when they decided to, and it confused the hell out of the Celtics. They had no idea what to do with this team running an offense. They don't run. And I think that there is going to be an adjustment going back to Boston. Ime Udoka is a very fantastic defensive coach. So I know he's going to have something to respond to that. But the fact that Steve Kerr just took his offense and said, not working, let's just go somewhere else. I don't know if I've ever seen a coach have the balls to do that in a finals, to just scrap the whole thing. And it made Steph Curry even better, actually.
Let me just say this about how do you say his name again? Udoka, Ime
Udoka.
I felt sorry for the girl from Flagstaff who was in that Scripps Howard spelling bee. She was a finalist and she got his name as her word and she got thrown out because she couldn't do it. Nobody could spell that. So it's just kind of unfair that she pulled that name. All right. So what do you think, Randy? Where are we going with this? Is it the Golden State Warriors have it figured out, or are they just going to figure it out, one after the other and just go game for game?
Well, I think the finals is going to go like this. It's going to be who can adjust the last time to win the last game. I still think this is going to be a 7-game series. And I say that with all humility. I have just seen the Boston Celtics have, these 3 playoff series in a row where they've had to kind of come from behind. They've had to work through some stuff and they have succeeded. So I think this is going to be a series that whoever makes the final adjustment to their team that is successful will end up winning this finals. And I don't know if it's the Celtics. I don't know if it's Golden State. I picked the Celtics in 7, but it's just been crazy, huh? I mean, the first game, you didn't see that coming. You saw a close game, but you didn't see the big, lambast that happened the first game. I didn't see game 2 ending like that. So we'll just have to kind of wait and see.
When I turned on the TV yesterday, the Celtics were only down by like a handful, right? And as I watched the Warriors go on that run, first I was like, hey, it looks like we're going to have a pretty good game here, honey, because I did. I came into the game at halftime. And I was like, hey, looking pretty good. This might actually be a pretty good one. And then all of a sudden I was like, forget what I said, honey. This is pretty well over. And that was in the course of a couple of minutes. It was just like, wow. And then the Warriors bench, it was a horrible play. It was horrible. If they ever really need to rely on that bench, they are SOL. They took a 30-point lead and turned it into a 19-point lead at one point, and then they were able to kind of pile it back on. As much as they were horrible at the offense, at least the bench players did hold the Celtics to defense, but at that point, it was also Celtics bench players. So talk to me about this bench, Keon. Is this the Achilles heel for the Warriors, or does it even matter?
I don't know if it's the Achilles heel, but I think that the Warriors are running into another team that is as deep as they are. And what the Celtics are deep in is defense. Their bench comes off and they play fantastic defense. They want to run up and down the floor once they force turnovers. And I don't know that the Warriors bench has ever come across another second unit that can hang with them, where they can take some of these crazy shots and the Celtics will make you pay.
Who's that dude? I'm watching the game. Also, I looked at it. It looked like somebody's dad had just ran out onto the floor. Who's that? That goofy looking white guy they've got with the dark hair. He's got the banker haircut. He just, what's that guy's name? I think he's a foreigner. He might be a foreigner, but this
he is. I'm trying to pull up his name right now because
what the hell? I'm watching this. I'm like, was this just like a Make-A-Wish thing? Somebody's dad is down there playing. And then he wasn't playing well at first. He was not hitting any shots. I'm just like, I am 100% sure that is the branch manager of the Wells Fargo at 35th Avenue. I'm just like, who is this guy?
His name is Nemanja Bjelica. I'm sure I butchered that horrifically, but yeah, that was him. And he looked pretty good in garbage time in game 1. Mm-hmm. So a lot of people thought he would show up at some point in game 2. And sure enough, he did and gave them pretty solid minutes, actually.
Am I right, though? He looks like a dude's somebody's dad just came on the court, just came down out of the stands. I can play. I can do this. Fed fan says Randy is not as braggadocious as he was on Friday when the Celtics won. Braggadocious.
What do you mean braggadocious?
That's right. Because Fed fan really wants the Warriors to win. You were calling for a Celtics win.
Yeah. I said it's going to be a great series. I didn't say anything bad about the Golden State. I wasn't sitting up here behind this microphone going, Golden State. You guys thought you were going to win another one. I didn't do any of that.
What sounds like you, though. That does sound like you.
I thought it was very respectful.
What Randy did say was that he was incredibly surprised that Boston won game 1, but he wasn't that surprised because he felt like Boston had a chance in this series where a lot of people were writing off the Celtics.
Tell you what, the next game is going to tell you a lot. That game, you can then get a better sense of what's going to happen. Boomer Sooner says, just a note, Sooners on the way to another College World Series had to get rid of Ukla today, 15-0, 15-0, Boomer Sooner. Yeah. Once ASU went out, I just stopped carrying Boomer Sooner. But thanks for the update.
It was a rough day for our friends down south as well. Both their baseball and softball team went out the same day.
Wah, wah, wah.
Sorry.
U of A, the Lakers, the Dodgers, the Yankees. Yeah, those are the ones that we root against. Am I missing anybody?
I don't think so.
I think the gang's all there.
Yeah. I only hate the Yankees. I do not have hatred for the rest.
Mm-hmm.
The Dodgers are making they're making a rise up the charts with me a little bit on how much I don't like them. But I got a lot of people I do like that like
Dodgers have lost 5 of their last 7.
Thank you for that.
Oh, that's
I didn't know that. Thank you for that. That feels much better. Thank you, Randy. That made my day. Because I looked at the standings and I saw it's like, okay, we beat the Braves in a series 2 out of 3. And then a team, if I'm not mistaken, that you had told me is a bad team, the Pittsburgh Pirates. Did you tell me that was a bad team?
Well, historically, the past decade or two, it's been a horrendous team. They're in 3rd place right now. They came into Dodger Stadium and put it on them pretty good.
Well, they put it on the Diamondbacks first, and we've lost 2 games out of 3 to them over the course of the weekend. So now we have the absolute worst team in baseball. Are they still the Reds? Are they still the absolute worst team in baseball?
Yeah, right now they are. Mm-hmm.
Well, Diamondbacks are not favored to win that game today. It's leaning in the direction of the Cincinnati Reds. That would be the biggest embarrassment of the season, wouldn't you say? If the Diamondbacks lose to the Reds, yeah, I think so. If they're the worst damn team,
it wouldn't be the biggest embarrassment of the season, but it would be pretty.
What's
damn
the biggest embarrassment then? What's bigger an embarrassment than that?
It's a regular season. There's 162 games you play, and if you lose one to Cincinnati, so what? Who cares?
If
This
you-
is Major League Baseball team.
Yeah, don't-
It's kind of like going into Jacksonville and losing when you got playoffs on the line. It's not that embarrassing, is
Okay.
it?
How about if we lose the series?
No, I'm
three-game
asking you.
series
It's
to
not
them?
that embarrassing, is it?
Oh, horribly embarrassing. It'd be devastatingly humiliating. And,
What if-
and
why it would be so embarrassing? Drastic measures might have to be taken. Players might have to be moved, even starters.
thank God that we beat the Kansas City Royals, who are
Yeah.
officially the worst team in baseball right now.
Ah.
They are officially the worst team. It just would not get any worse than losing to the Reds. That's all I'm saying.
Hmm.
Just hope that doesn't happen.
Even the Nationals beat the Reds. I think the Diamondbacks ought to beat the Reds.
Really?
That would be the biggest embarrassment if the Nationals beat the Reds, but the Diamondbacks don't. Now you've got me on that one, Keon. That would be
Nat swept them. I think
huge.
the Diamondbacks ought to beat the Reds.
Philly fan says
Should they?
you forgot the Cowboys is most hated. No. Philly fan, that might be yours. I'm talking about mine and basically the way things go here on the show. I haven't heard the other guys hate on the Yankees the way I do, but I think it's universal. Raise your hand if you do not like University Arizona. All right, unanimous. Raise your hand if you do not like the Dodgers. It's unanimous. Okay, see what I'm going. What was the other one?
Yankees.
Oh, raise your hand if you don't like the Yankees. Unanimous. Was there? What was the fourth one? Okay, there was
Somebody
another one?
somebody said something about the Cowboys.
Oh no, I don't got that. No, raise your hand if you don't like the Cowboys. Keon. Oh, it's not unanimous. I got no problem with the Cowboys.
I can't stand them.
Just don't have a bone to pick with those guys.
They're in the division, so that's part of it. But it's also they're in the division, and then I, as a Washington fan, moved to Texas with my family, and they let me have it, and I hold that against the Cowboys to this day. My whole life, I just don't like them.
Fed fan says Tom Brady's niece batted really well against the Sooners in the game that the Bruins won. I had no idea that Tom Brady had a niece.
Oh yeah, yeah. He tweeted out at her.
I do not follow Tom Brady.
Wished her much luck on this upcoming series, but yeah, she and her party pants are on their way home.
Raise your hand if you kind of hate the Patriots a little bit, just a teeny bit, just a little bit, because they're cheaters. They're dirty, filthy cheaters. It's unanimous.
Yeah.
Not enough to be mad at them. I mean, they're like, it's kind of like, let's say there's a guy that would pick on you and you're like, you're constantly getting your ass beat by him, but then you grow up and then he kind of gets frail or something happens, and all of a sudden you just feel sorry for him because he's getting his ass kicked all the time. That's the Patriots. Patriots are no longer a force to be reckoned with. All right, we got to take a break. When we come back, I got texts from Big George and the Berg to get to and other sort of things. You know what we should do, Randy? We should do 4 quarters with Keon Rose when we come back.
Okay, let's do it.
It's the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
This is Brent Musburger's action update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic. Heads up, sports bettors. Right now, you can try VSiN All Access free for 30 days with no credit card required. Visit vsin.com/free month to sign up now.
The Stanley Cup playoffs continuing tonight as the Colorado Avalanche are in Edmonton to take on the Oilers in the Western Conference Finals. An Avalanche victory, and they head to the Stanley Cup final. They are the favorite tonight, paying out at -134 on the money line, while the Oilers pay out at +112. The over-under has been set at 7 goals. The Avalanche remain the heavy favorite to win this year's Stanley Cup. They pay out at -195 to win it all. Tampa Bay at +400, as are the New York Rangers. And then the Oilers are paying out at +5,500. For the latest odds all the time, visit vsin.com. I'm Matt Pauley on Arizona's sports betting station, 1580 The Fanatic.
Seems like everything is going electric these days. Electric cars, electric trucks. But what you save on gas, you pay for with that electric bill. With all these things being plugged into your house, wouldn't it be nice to save up to 85% on your monthly electric bill? Well, you can do that with 0 down and no payments for 12 months. Call Harmon Solar. Harmon Solar is a family-owned, woman-owned local company that uses top-of-the-line equipment. Call Harmon Solar, 800-281-3189. That's 800-281-3189. Or go to harmonsolar.com.
By now, you know that sound. It's the sound of the Home Depot. But what about those sounds? Those are the sounds of a brand new ice maker dropping cubes into a fresh glass of water, making this the sound of savings on top brand appliances. The Home Depot. how doers get more done. Final days ends June 8th to save up to 30% off select appliances. Valid May 19th through June 8th. Gas range extra. While supplies last. See store for details.
Can you tell which pills contain the deadly dose of fentanyl? Neither can your child. Counterfeit pills laced with fentanyl are killing Arizona's youth at an alarming rate. They're cheap, easy to get, and just one pill can kill. Get the facts on fentanyl at talknowaz.com. Talk with your children. Monitor their texts and social media. Visit talknowaz.com. This message is sponsored by the Substance Abuse Coalition Leaders of Arizona.
Market Wrap listeners, register now for Mo Ansari's nationwide webinar on Wednesday, June 8th. He'll share his latest updates on the economy and markets, inflation and interest rates. Plus, he'll make time to answer your financial questions. And you can join him from anywhere in the world, right from your computer. The webinar is free, but registration is required. So go to compact.com and click on seminars to register for Mo's free nationwide webinar on Wednesday, June 8th. That's compact.com, COMPAK.com, and click on seminars, or dial pound 250 on your cell phone and say talk to Mo. That's pound 250 and say talk to Mo.
Compact Asset Management is a registered investment advisor. Funds custodian, Fidelity Institutional Wealth Services, member FINRA SIPC.
The Rams were built to win the Super Bowl.
The Los Angeles Rams have won Super Bowl 56. But if you think that brought the end of the NFL season, you'd better think again. The NFL is a year-round beast, and we keep you in the know. Free agency, trades, retirements, hirings, firings, holdouts, injuries, training camps, and a whole lot more. Football is always in season here. We are 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic. Your home for football.
It's the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. Got a couple of things here on the text line before we get to Four Quarters with Keon Rose. And one of them is Big George saying, hello, gentlemen. Happy Monday. I hope you guys had a nice weekend. I am fed up with Mark Melancon as the Diamondbacks closer. He's 0-6 in the season. He blew Saturday's loss and has a 6.87 ERA. Why does Torey Lovello keep using him in key situations? He stinks. Get him out of the closer role.
Well, there's a couple of reasons why, Big George. First of all, Arizona can't pick out a closer to save their life, and Melancon's just the latest in a long line of failures. And when they do get a closer, they don't realize they have one.
Wait.
I reference Archie
Melancon?
Melancon.
Oh, I thought it was Melancon.
No, it's Melancon.
But much cooler name was Melancon.
If you want to call him Melancon.
It's like Comic-Con, but it's Melons.
Well,
you know, Melancon. That sounds like something I'd want to go to.
Melancon. Yeah. You want to go to that?
Who doesn't?
Sorry,
go ahead.
But, and then today they get Dallas Keuchel and sign him to a minor league contract, thinking he's going to help this pitching staff. I mean, give me a break. This is the worst run team in all of baseball, and you're 100% right. Torey Lovello keeps running the same tired old guy out there, and he keeps getting his ass beat.
It's just weird to me because he wasn't that bad last year when he was with San Diego. Yeah, he was 4-3. His ERA was 2.23. Nowhere near the 6 that it is, and it hasn't been anywhere near that for a long time. You have to go back several years to find the last time Mark Melancon was this bad. So I don't know what happened.
Well, I'll tell you what happened. San Diego realized Melancon no longer had it, and so they got rid of him. And guess who picked him up? And here's the Arizona Diamondbacks sitting there going, oh, look, what a bunch of rubes. They got rid of Mark Melancon. We're going to pick him up and rule. Yeah, you can see why now, why they got rid of him.
So if you'd never known it was Melancon and you saw that name, you'd think Melancon.
Oh, I've definitely.
Perhaps.
You only know it's Melancon because you heard other people say it.
When he was with the Braves, I aggressively said Melancon and then, got corrected by every caller.
Yeah, but they didn't know, and how do you know you're right? Maybe it is Melancon. Maybe that's why he's pitching so bad. He's out there like, all I can think of as he's winding up is, God, they keep calling me Melanson. It's not my name. I just want to be me. And it's how pitchers are.
That's a good point.
Big George also says the only thing more embarrassing, losing to the Washington Nationals. Berg says reason I dumped Melancon as fantasy baseball pitcher a month ago, right there. And by the way, you got to question judgment of choosing the Yankees as a fandom. He was a kid. Keon was a kid. I give him a break for that. It wasn't his fault. You didn't choose them. Yeah, he was chosen for him.
Yeah, I was just like in New York when I was a kid, and essentially, games that were on the radio, it was the Mets or the Yankees. I just jumped on the bandwagon because I was a little kid in New York.
Sure. You didn't know. You went for the team that won more. You didn't know any better. The Mets would have been more respectable because they're kind of adorable. You just tussle their hair kind of thing, the Mets. But you were a kid. He was a kid, Berg. Give him a break.
And Washington didn't have a team. Like that's the the other part.
Fed fan says, Keon, you need to realize once a pitcher crosses over the Arizona state lines, they become the worst pitcher on the planet. Is that the rule? We are the Bermuda Triangle of pitchers, aren't we?
And that's a lot of people say that, but we brought in a great pitching coach. You plucked him right out of the clutches of retirement and brought him in here, and he's done a pretty good job, especially with our starting staff. But our relief staff is horrible. I mean, these guys, they couldn't pitch their way out of a wet paper bag. These guys are terrible.
Sorry, I'm just trying to visualize that again. Every time you say that, I have to stop a moment and try to visualize somebody trying to actually pitch their way
out of it.
Wet paper bag. Right now, though, we don't have any time to spare. It's time for 4 quarters with Keon Rose here on the Daily Blender.
Thank you, Jeffrey. And yeah, we're going to do a little NBA Finals. We're also going to talk a little Suns in this 4 quarters, but we'll start with quarter number 1. Talking about the NBA Finals, we've got 2 games so far, one win for each team. In your opinion, who has the X factor in the finals been so far?
Well, for me, I don't think it's a person. I think it's a good defense or anyone who can actually shoot a 3. And that's changed from game to game. So I don't feel like there's been an X factor. I mean, after 2 games, that's too hard to figure out because both teams looked just about completely different. You know what I mean? So that's the X factor in any given game will be good defense or anybody who can actually shoot a 3. I don't got a person. Randy, do you?
Well, I think the X factor so far has been Jason Tatum. I think the way that he brought the team in a hostile environment in game 1 and took that game from Golden State. It clearly wasn't ready, playing soft. And again, last night, it was Jason Tatum that Golden State had to shut down. He had he had 30 points in the first half, something like that.
Yeah, but is he an X factor if you can shut him down?
Well, he is the X factor right now. There's nobody really standing out for Golden State. I know Steph Curry is doing Steph Curry things, but that's what you expect out of Steph Curry. Jason Tatum has taken this team on and put him on his shoulders, and he's trying to raise this team above anything else. Now he's got to get some help from Brown and Al Horford and some of these guys that have stepped up in series prior. So I'd say right now the X factor is Jason Tatum.
All right.
Yeah, I'm actually going to go with the X factor being Al Horford.
I was just thinking that when you
I know that Jason Tatum's played really well and in this game, but he bounces back from bad games really well. And he gave them 13 assists in game 1, even though he wasn't shooting well. Jaylen Brown is going to be solid. He's going to have games where he goes off, but he's for the most part going to be a solid guy. But Al Horford, when Al Horford played really well in game 1, Boston was able to roll using his shooting ability. Golden State made the adjustment that kind of forced Al Horford to be stuck in no man's land on those pick and rolls. He didn't know where to be. And as a result, he was kind of useless defensively. He only had 2 points on the offensive side. And I think this series, things are going to go for Boston the way Al Horford goes. You know,
if you're right and he comes back from bad games, well, you only get so many times to do that, and it does not favor you in a 7-game series.
It usually doesn't, but with Tatum, he's just been able to. I don't know. He did it. It's 2 series now where he's been able to. Oh, I had a bad game, but I'm bouncing back, and I'll give you, a 20-point performance or something like that. And of course, even when he's not shooting well, Jason Tatum finds a way to assert himself, at least passing the ball and being a playmaker in that role. So let's get to the second quarter here. because the Celtics are interesting to me because they have been in some of the weirdest series that we've seen this postseason. They had the sweep with the Nets, and then they got into 2 fist fights.
They had
with
to
the Bucks.
sleep with the Nets?
Sweep.
Oh, geez. I thought you said they had to sleep with them to win.
Good Lord, no. Why would that happen? Why would that happen? So they swept the Nets, and then they got into a fist fight with the Bucks, just an absolute physical
brawl
series. And then they got into a rugby scrum with the Miami Heat. Just another physical 7-game series, and now they're here. And this series looks weird too. You get the blowout in the 4th quarter for them in game 1. And then in the 3rd quarter, the Warriors pull away in game 2. Are we in for another weird series with the Celtics?
Yeah, 100%. I think we are. Yeah. Because I think what happened last night was Golden State's answer to game 1. Remember how physical and how assertive Boston was in game 1? And the Golden State Warriors weren't ready for that. And then they came out last night. Draymond Green was all up in everybody's business and trash talking and everything. So game 3, I think, is going to be a physical slugfest. It's going to be in Boston. You're going to have all that energy. I think this is going to be a very odd and strange and magnificent NBA Finals.
My answer on that one is maybe. Right now, I don't feel like it is weird because, like I said earlier, I think they're adjustment games. And, Keon said it doesn't seem like they're sniffing their butts. They already know who each other are, but Kerr did make some serious adjustments, getting them into game 2. He told Draymond, get in their heads. He said, let's try this different look at offense. So these are just, again, the adjustment games. I think the next couple of games going forward, you're going to see more consistency about, how the play is going to be and how these teams are going to act and react. So I'm going to go ahead and go with maybe. But right now, it doesn't seem weird yet. Doesn't seem weird to me just yet. Oh, damn it. It looks like we lost Randy.
We did lose Randy.
Yeah, he'll get back.
But yeah, no, I think that this is going to be another weird series. And I think it's weird because the Celtics are a team that I think wants to be more finesse than they are, but they are actually a physical team. And the Warriors are physical too. They just don't show it all the time. And so now you've got these 2 physical teams going at it. Marcus Smart is the defensive player of the year. Draymond Green is the guy who has been defensive player of the year multiple times over the course of his career. And they both have that same personality of we're going to do whatever it takes to win. And it doesn't matter if I'm going to have to be a little bit tricky, if I'm going to have to get in your head and do, whatever it takes psychologically to mess with you. Those guys are cut from the same cloth. And I think that makes for a potentially very, very strange series if both of them can continue to play at the level that they're playing at. So going to the 3rd quarter, and I guess we'll have to figure out what Randy thinks.
I'll start it off
when he gets back. But let's jump to the Suns here a little bit because there's word flying around the league. I was doing some reading from the newspapers of other teams around the league and what those beat writers think. And there is a sense around the NBA that DeAndre Ayton will not be a Phoenix Sun by the end of the summer. Is this the right move for the Phoenix Suns?
Before I answer that, FedFan says, we lost Randy. Hey, Randy, Celtics suck. She just wanted, I think I needed to give her that opportunity while she had the chance. All right. So is it the right call for Phoenix to move on from DeAndre Ayton? Yeah, I think so. If he doesn't want to be here and you think he's the problem, then yeah, as much as I've been disappointed in his lack of aggression and follow through and just sort of manning up, he still seems like a child a bit to me. But the question does linger. How are you going to do better? Who is out there that you can actually do better with? I think it'd be better for the Suns if Monty was able to make things work with DeAndre Ayton and work on, coaching and work on maybe bringing in a different piece that'll help because, and also if you got to keep him, incorporate him. He was absolutely right. I can't pass to myself was the line he used when he was just like upset about stuff during these games. He was not getting the ball like he wanted, and we felt like he should have. But then again, I understood that because he didn't seem to be aggressively following through is like hardly any offensive rebounds, and then sort of just like, and the ball wouldn't go in the basket. So, I think he could be saved. I think he could be, but if he doesn't want to be here, and if he's the problem, then yes, it's the right thing to do.
I think it's not, but I'm saying that basically in the mindset that I don't think that DeAndre Ayton is the problem. I will agree that if he doesn't want to be here, there's no point trying to force a guy to be here that doesn't want to be here. But I don't think he's the problem. I think that sort of the offense is just not really designed for him, and I wish that there were a little bit more of a push to incorporate him in the offense, because I just think that there's tremendous value in having a guy who is 7 feet tall, that when teams switch to some of these smaller
Right.
lineups, he doesn't get played off the floor.
So who's blowing
run him
it?
off.
Is it the coaching, or is it the guys in the court not trusting? You know what I'm saying? Because if Monty has said, okay, we're going to do this, this, and this, let's try to do this, and the players on the floor passing the ball, he does a little like, and they're like, okay, that was a mistake. Let's not do that anymore. The players will always dictate what the plays are going to be when they're out there. The coach can yell and tell them what to do all you want, but until they actually, do what he says, there's DeAndre Ayton out there saying, I can't pass the ball to myself. So is it the coaching, or is it the other players? That's the great mystery.
Yeah, or I could be wrong here, and it could just be the fit where Monty just prefers his guards to be the dominant ones in a game. And that means that, yeah, DeAndre, you're going to have to take a back seat, and that's just going to be your role. And he's just going to fundamentally not be happy with that. And maybe that's what's going on, where it's not necessarily coaching. I don't, because obviously you win coach of the year, and we saw what Monty was able to do all year long. That's not a guy who can't coach. So I'm not going to sit here and say Monty can't coach or Monty did the wrong thing, but maybe his style, his preference just does not line up with exactly having DeAndre Ayton on the squad.
Here's what we're going to do. We're going to have to take a break. Keon, you're going to get Randy on the phone, and by God, we're going to finish this segment. Yeah, Cox Communications. I always have said any day that I would pull up to a radio station and see a Cox Communications truck anywhere near where the station is, I'm like, well, we're going off the air. There goes our internet. So we'll get Randy on the telephone, and we'll finish this up when we come back. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
By now, you know that sound. It's the sound of the Home Depot. But what about those sounds? Those are the sounds of a brand new ice maker dropping cubes into a fresh glass of water, making this the sound of savings on top brand appliances. The Home Depot. How doers get more done. Final days ends June 8th to save up to 30% off select appliances. Valid May 19th through June 8th. Gas range extra. While supplies last. See store for details.
When it comes to covering the high school sports scene in Arizona, AZ Preps 365 has all the answers. Every Saturday morning from 8 until 10, they break down games, interview the newsmakers, talk with coaches from around the state, and stay up to date with what's happening with prep athletes and breaking news from the Arizona prep scene. It's AZ Preps 365, 8 till 10 Saturday mornings on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic, and always on at 1580thefanatic.com.
8 presents Terrifying Jobs.
Bull Rider, take 2.
Today we're talking with Clifford Maxwell, a rodeo bullfighter. His job? Distract raging bulls from going after thrown rider. Cliff, this seems like a really terrifying job. Why do you do it?
I love protecting the bull riders when they get bucked off.
How big are these bulls?
12 to 2,200 pounds of pure muscle.
You're not cowed by any of this, obviously. Is there anything that scares you?
Yeah. Distracted drivers terrify me.
This message is brought to you by ABA and this station.
There's a time to be fearful and a time to be calm. A time to be aggressive and a time to be conservative, especially when it comes to investing. You've heard the phrase, to everything there is a season and a time to every purpose.
Hello, I'm Mo Ansari, president of Compact Asset Management. At Compact, we strive to provide you with the tools and experience it takes to be in the right place at the right time to grow and protect your hard-earned money. Call pound 250 on the cell phone and say talk to Mo, and let's check your goals together. You'll get a free portfolio review and risk analysis, and we'll focus on your investment strategies. Call pound 250 on your cell phone and say talk to Mo, or visit us online at compact.com. That's COMPAK.com.
Compact Asset Management is a registered investment advisor, funds custodian, Fidelity Institutional Wealth Services, member FINRA, SIPC.
When you run a business, you need to be in control. And while you can't control everything that happens in the world of business, you can definitely take control of your utility expenses with the help of Harmon Solar. Give them a call and see how your company can save up to 80% on that monthly electric bill with zero down and no payments for 12 months. Harmon Solar is a local family-owned company that uses top-of-the-line equipment. Call Harmon Solar, 800-281-3189. That's 800-281-3189. Or go to harmonsolar.com.
This is Brent Musburger. Don't miss Pro Football Blitz, Saturday afternoons, right here on Arizona's sports betting station, 1580 and 99.3, The Fanatic.
We had him, then we didn't have him. Do we have him? Senior Randy White is on the line.
And I fell off the face of the earth again. And now I'm here. Hello? Hello? Can you hear
Hola,
me?
¿cómo está? Bueno.
Hello?
Muchas gracias, señor.
No
Esta
me
la
toques, yo tengo
rendito.
manos de oro y huesos fuertes.
1580, El Fanático. Muchas gracias, live read.
Wow.
That was Spanish or you have a live read.
I have a live read.
Yeah, you do.
All right. Hang on. Trying to get Phil for time. Talk amongst yourselves.
Phil doesn't work here anymore.
While I bring up my
we got
script
Keon.
here.
Well,
Look at that. He just panicked and he called you Phil. That was like really embarrassing.
No, I said, please, Phil, for time.
Phil's not here anymore. I kept telling you this. I don't know why you don't understand that, Randy.
You know, you can go yard all June long with this famous Dinger Tuesdays that they have on the FanDuel Sportsbook. All season, get $5 for every home run hit by both teams when you place a $25 to hit a home run wager on Tuesday MLB games. Let's not forget the Diamondbacks in action tonight. I believe the Dodgers are in action against the Padres down in San Diego, so you got that going on. And the best thing about Dinger Tuesdays is if your bet loses, FanDuel will pay you $5 for every home run. So that's not bad. All kinds of options for you to take. Paul Goldschmidt, I'm saying this just to get George kind of rattled up there.
Why not?
Paul Goldschmidt has been on a tear lately, and it's really too bad he's not on the Diamondbacks anymore. But hey, we've got Christian Walker, and who can sneeze at that one? What are you waiting for? Pick out your home run hitter and turn big swings into big wins. No better place to bet America's pastime than on America's #1 sportsbook. Head on over to your FanDuel account or download the FanDuel Sportsbook app and sign up using my promo code Randy1580. Again, that's promo code Randy1580, scientifically proven to be more lucky, by the way. You must be 21 or older, present in Arizona. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable site credits that expire in 7 days. Max bonus $25. Restrictions apply. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. And Jeffrey, if you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text Next Step to 53342.
So there's something I needed to tell you, Randy. We did get a notification, and I can't say who from. A religious entity has determined that your promo code is also absolutely blessed by the Lord God himself. Now, I can't say who this was, but his name rhymes with soap. Has said that promo code Randy1580 is a blessed thing.
Well, I mean, Spiritu Sanctu. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Domino's Flaviscus, Chef Boyardee, ravioli. Yeah. I know exactly what you're saying. I speak Latin.
What I'm talking about.
But it rhymes with soap.
The soap, all right.
has blessed your code. I'm just saying.
All right.
It's got to
Well,
count for something, right?
I drink enough of that holy water. Why
Mhm.
not? Yeah.
Well, that's what we call it. Yeah. So, Randy, while you were gone, the last question was in the third quarter from Keon. If you think that, them shipping out DeAndre Ayton from the Suns is the right call for Phoenix.
I don't know if it's the right call. I kind of side with Keon on this one. A guy has got a lot of talent, a lot of potential. Is he going to go to another team? And are they going to develop him and take his unique set of skills and really accentuate those rather than trying to form him into a specific style like a meat-eating, center like a Shaquille O'Neal or somebody like that? I don't know that it's the right move. If I'm the Phoenix Suns, I can't pay the max extension. I'm sorry. Just because you come in here and you're playing on my team, and it becomes time for you to get a max extension, what is that telling you if I don't demand from you, a certain standard of play? And I don't know that DeAndre Ayton's done that, in my opinion. That's just me. In my opinion, I don't pay on future payouts because what if the future never comes? So I don't know that it's the right move, but I can see why they're doing it.
There you go.
Well, no, I appreciate that answer. And look, there are question marks there. I mean, just because a guy wants the ball, wants more touches, doesn't necessarily mean that when you get him that the results are great. Once upon a time, Dwight Howard got his coach fired because he wanted more touches. Didn't exactly turn out well for the Orlando Magic and Dwight Howard. I think that Ayton's got more skills, more polished than Dwight Howard did at that point in his career. But still, just because a guy wants more touches doesn't mean you give him more touches. It's exactly going to open everything.
Did you hear that, Deshaun Watson? Did you hear that?
Oh, God. Oh, we're going to get uncomfortable talking about Deshaun Watson a little bit later.
Oh,
on.
it's coming.
Yeah.
Bad choice of words. Phrasing.
No,
Sorry.
No, good Lord. But no, let's just get to fourth quarter. Let's get to the hot seat. You know what?
On the hot seat. He's on the hot seat. Yeah.
I mean, that's
Keon Rose putting you and you on the hot seat. Hot seat.
Never thought I'd have an intro for the hot seat there. But did your dog just try to join?
The dog did not appreciate that singing. He's sitting there shaking his head going, what the hell is that?
Well, I appreciated it. And here's the fourth quarter question. It's still a Suns related because obviously DeAndre Ayton was a key part of this team. And whether or not you think he's worth a max is a separate question. But what do the Suns need to do this offseason to keep that championship window open? Is it go out and try and get another big guy? Is it maybe try and find somebody that can match up with somebody like Luka? What do the Suns need to do this offseason? What is their priority of? And I don't think get a specific player involved. Just what kind of thing do they need to get pushed over the top here?
You want to take this one, Randy, before your thing cuts out?
Yeah, my I hate it when my thing cuts out too. So does Miss Kim. I don't know what I don't know who the Sun should bring in. I'll be honest with you. I just don't have a good feeling on. Keon and I went through a whole list of some free agents Friday, and none of those guys really stood out to me as the next Phoenix Suns. Now, do they make a move now that Snyder is gone in Utah, and that's going to throw that team kind of in a tailspin? Do you try to go out and pick from the Utah and preach about championships and stability, or do you go with a free agent? I don't know what to do. The Suns need to bring, in my opinion, if you're going to give up a guy like DeAndre Ayton, and you're going to give that future away, I think you got to go to get a young guy, somebody that is going to come in and contribute right away. He may not be a DeAndre Ayton, but as long as the guy's got heart and intensity, we'll put him to work. And that's the question I think they're facing right now.
Jeffrey?
I don't know. It was a weird game 7, and maybe it should never got to a game 7. Maybe that is where I should be looking more than that last game. But when all your big names, your core come out and just completely fall apart, I said this before, and I'll say it again. It seems to me a leadership issue. Chris Paul went flat, and then everybody around him went flat. And I think that they may have a codependency on Chris Paul that could be holding them back. It seems like, whichever way the Chris Paul wind blows, so does this team go. And it's not the way it's supposed to be. So listen, you and I are not in the locker room. We're not sitting there hearing the conversations and understanding. Monty was coach of the year, and Chris Paul should be assistant coach of the year in that setup because of the way things are. But to see the entire team take a dive when Chris Paul has the off night, then again, it's not really the way it always was either. Was there too much strife in the locker room? There's just so many different waves you end up with the way that game 7 was, but then you have to look at it the entirety of not just that series, but also of, the playoff experience. I think maybe they were just too tired at the end, and you wouldn't expect that out of the youngins. You do expect that out of Chris Paul. And so I guess what I would do is bring in another veteran, but try to keep Chris Paul there, because Chris Paul, well rested, even sometimes when he's hurt from the bench, when his attitude is, hey guys, let's go, they do great. But if he was sort of falling apart and they started falling apart, everybody's falling apart. So he's the mascot. Get another guy in there who's a veteran. Get another, and maybe not so damn old, but get a guy in there that can go out there and play at a high level. So, any one of your pieces starts to fall, that you got it covered. But gee whiz, you just can't have the entire team have a funky game. That's just something weird about that, where you have your entire team go into a funk. So yeah, I don't know. That's what I think, probably a veteran forward or guard, somebody who can go lights out on the offense, when those guys are faltering, I guess. And maybe they won't falter if Chris Paul's not so damn tired.
That's part of it is Chris Paul at his age, it's going to happen. I do think that they need somebody else who can really dribble the ball well. Chris Paul is the guy that mostly does that, and he's also a spectacular passer. Devin Booker can dribble the ball really well, but he's not a playmaker, which is he's not getting other guys' shots. So either Devin adds that to his game this offseason, where you see other guys who can score and do that too. Like Tatum is a guy that can go out there and get other guys' shots, even when he himself is not shooting the ball really well. But that was something that was missing, that when you don't have Chris Paul, setting up other people on the floor is still really important. And there just isn't another guy on the Suns that can do that. I also want to see them get a little bit bigger, that some of these guys that are going to be, that you're going to be tasked with defending. And I am thinking of Luka. Mikal Bridges did the best that he could defending Luka, but he's just smaller than him. I was able to see what Golden State did by having Andrew Wiggins, a bigger guy that you can put in front of Luka. He plays good defense, but the size helps, and you can wear that guy down.
You ain't heard of Wiggins lately, have you? You know what I mean? Wiggins ain't doing much now. He doesn't have the big guy to go after. I mean, have you heard much from Wiggins in this series?
Kind of game 1 where he absolutely messed up Tatum's life. That was kind of the last you heard of him. He didn't do much in game 2 because Tatum kind of figured him out. But yeah, it's just having that guy. Look, you're not going to be able to stop some of these scorers every game, but you have them have an off night that gives you a chance to wrap up a series one game sooner. Yeah, you got to have that. And I think the Suns don't really have that guy right now. And I'd love to see them add that in the offseason, and that's 4 quarters.
All right. Big George says this was a close 4 quarters with Keon Rose, but I have to give the advantage to Randy White. He says Jeffrey and Keon were a close second. This was one of my better ones, I thought. I don't know how the hell that, and Randy's thing kept cutting out. My thing didn't cut out.
I hate when my thing cuts out.
Well, congratulations, Randy. Good job.
I didn't know it was a competition, but thank you, Big George.
It's always a competition. There's no point in playing if you don't keep score, Randy. You know that.
We were playing, just kind of like the cancer walk. Which
I totally won. Shut up. Big George says, I agree with you, Randy and Keon. It's a tough decision, but I can't believe the Suns, who waited their entire franchise history for #1 draft pick, are going to trade him away. Man, I wish they would have drafted Luka Doncic, though. Well, I'm not disagreeing with them, guys. I said, if you don't want to be here, that's the big part for me. If you don't want to be here, it's not going to work having them here. But
right.
We'll be back here in a moment. It's hour 2 on the way. Daily Blender, 1580, the Fanatic.
Hi, this is Nick LaCapria with the Daily Sports Quiz. While some great basketball teams like the Lakers and Celtics don't hang banners for division titles, there actually is an NBA team that hung a banner for winning a Summer League title. Name that NBA team.
Now that it's legal to bet on sports here in Phoenix, the interest in sports has more than tripled. Stay on top of the sports action at phoenixsports.digital. Phoenix Sports Trivia keeps you updated and keeps you connected with plenty of sources to get the latest on all the games from all the sports. Here's a bonus sports trivia question. What was baseball's first organized team? The answer is at phoenixsports.digital. Your source for all things sports. phoenixsports.digital. Log on now.
The answer to today's Daily Sports Quiz, name the only NBA team to ever hang a banner after winning the Summer League, the Sacramento Kings. While teams like the Lakers and Celtics don't even hang division titles, the Kings haven't won all that much, so that Summer League title was special. I'm Nick LaCapria with the Daily Sports Quiz.
If you're an IT professional looking for an opportunity with great benefits and the freedom to creatively solve problems in a career with great growth potential and a team environment, look no further than Affinity Technology. Serving the Valley since 1992, Affinity Technology is looking for a level 1 tech to develop and deliver excellent solutions and outstanding customer service. Visit atechaz.com/jobs and get started with your future today. That's atechaz.com/jobs.
Well, Mrs. Grayer, nothing on the x-ray that pinpoints the source of the pain. Let's send you to our lumbar expert.
After reviewing the x-rays, I can't see anything wrong. Let's give you a steroid shot for the pain and send you to the lab for some blood work.
Tired of the runaround? How about trying a new approach? The holistic approach.
At the Naturopathic Physicians Group in Scottsdale, our medical doctors are experts in full spectrum care using a natural approach. Patients come in for a variety of issues, including joint pain, chronic conditions, and issues specific to men's and women's health. Our naturopathic doctors can restore pain-free joint function and restore balance in immune, digestive, and hormone systems, which often improves both immediate physical symptoms and also improves cognition and emotional stability. If traditional medicines aren't working, don't you think it's time to start feeling like yourself again? Call Naturopathic Physicians Group at 480-451-6161. That's 480-451-6161. Or go to naturopathicgroup.com.
Business people like it straight and to the point. So here it is. Bruce Jacobs here to tell you take control of your utility expenses by calling Harmon Solar right now. They can save up to 80% on that monthly electric bill with zero down and no payments for 12 months. Level your energy costs, protect yourself from inflation. How's that for straight and to the point? Here's more. Harmon Solar is a local family-owned company that uses top-of-the-line equipment. Call Harmon Solar 800-281-3189 or go to harmonsolar.com.
KQFN Tempe. Also transmitting on K25CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM and K240U Fountain Hills at 95.9 FM.
All right, people, settle down because it's time.
Time for what? Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show. Let's do it.
All right, everybody, it's 4 o'clock here on the Daily Blender. I'm your good friend, your radio pal, Jeffrey O'Brien, alongside Randy White. Got ourselves a Keon Rose there in the control room, and you guys are on the Fanatic text line, 888-368-1580, as we broadcast live in the Harmon Solar Studios in Scottsdale. I got to get caught up on the old text line there so we can move on and do some other things. Boogie wants everyone to know that no one likes Ohio State either. What was that about? Because I said I didn't like the Yankees. So I had given a list of teams that we universally do not like and or hate.
Yeah.
So yes, no one likes. I don't like Ohio State. There's only one reason I don't like Ohio State, because some people I don't like Ohio State, and because they always say the Ohio State. It's the dumbest damn thing in sports.
Yeah.
The Ohio State. Yeah, like anybody's going to claim to be otherwise. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's going to try to be, no, we're the Ohio State. No, we're the Ohio State.
Well, you know where that started? That started at University of Miami. The U.
Okay. Well, that's different.
And then, Ohio State had to come up with the Ohio State.
I didn't have any problems with them until they tried to trademark the word the.
Yeah.
That at that point, you lost me. You completely lost me. It doesn't
But
make
they
sense.
didn't try to trademark the word the. They tried to trademark the word the.
True.
The Ohio State.
But either way, it's the most commonly used word in the English language. You can't trademark it.
Yeah. No, I'm glad they didn't get away with that. But
nonsense.
That's the only reason I don't like them. Other than that, I got no reason. Mr. Pringle says it's clear to me that the NBA in Vegas put a call into the. Okay, stop it. Just stop it. He says, put a call into the Celtics to lose game 2, given how much playing time Boston gave their pasty white players. I will say this, that is true. I'm sitting there like watching, I'm like, oh, the Celtics, this is not going to work. There's too many white guys on there. There's too many white guys on the floor right now. That is bad news for this team. There's no way they're going to come back now. And I was right.
That's just what their bench looks like.
They have an uncomfortable amount of white guys.
Well, yes, they are up there in the league. I think
it's like when I get off the plane in Portland, Oregon, and I start walking through the airport, and I'm like, I feel very uncomfortable right now. Why is that, honey? Because it's just wall-to-wall white folks. This is just not natural. I don't like this. It feels wrong.
It's the Celtics and the Orlando Magic that are up there for just like the most white guys on a team that like it's noticeable how much your roster is white. That's just.
I mean, hey, listen, being a white guy, I like, hey, look, a white guy's playing pretty good. Good for him. You know, you kind of like, all right, that's good, nice. We don't get many of those. Hey, but you know what we do get? A lot of bench players, I guess. We get a lot of bench players. And one guy who was pretty good at the basketball, a little white guy, I hate him. You know who I'm thinking of, right?
No.
That little Duke jerk, you know?
Grayson
Allen.
Grayson Allen.
Yeah. Oh, I hate that guy. Yeah. So the one guy that could have given us the great white hope, well, yeah, he's a great white dope. I hate that guy. He's evil. Blissful Hayes says the Suns need to keep and pay DeAndre Ayton. All right.
Why?
Because Blissful Hayes said so, Randy. That's why.
So no, I'm interested in why Blissful Hayes thinks we should keep DeAndre Ayton. If it's not working now,
right?
And I mean this with all due respect. I'm just asking a legitimate question. If it's not working now, and there's this much problem, and he's not happy here, why do we want to keep him?
Well, this is what I said when you were having troubles with your internet. I'll be brief. What I said was, if he wants to go, let him go. But here's the thing: how are you going to do better? You know, how are you going to do better than him? What is out there that's going to make a difference? So, you know, maybe you keep him, try to, you know, either play to him or you teach him how to play to you, you know, and this is all about the coaching. This is all about how the other players interact with them. But I'm 100% on your page when it comes to the max contract. My opinion is he hasn't shown you enough, you know, to get the max. But yeah, you could give him a max contract, not the max contract. You know what I'm saying?
Well, and I'm with you there. But the problem is, I don't think he develops the way that would best be good for him under Monty Williams and this Suns offense. I think DeAndre Ayton probably fancies himself as more of a shooter than a rebounder. Yeah, he's tall. Yeah, he gets some rebounds. But I think he fancies himself more of a he fancies himself more of a shooter. And I think that's where
he's not.
It's frustrating. Well, he is at U of A. He was a tremendous.
He's
shooter.
a lump it in the basket guy. He's not a shooter. He's
when you say shooter for a big guy, he can shoot from the mid range.
So the problem is he's been dribbling them out of the front of the basket instead of into the basket. They've sort of been falling short when he goes like that, and that is why the other players aren't trusting him.
Well, and I agree 110%. Look, if you're DeAndre Ayton and you're just laying it into the basket, come on, man. Try to tear the damn stanchion down. Tear it down. Try to break the backboard. Do something with some emphasis, man. But he's not like that.
And here's the problem, though. Here's the problem. If he's afraid of getting hurt, and that's why he's not as aggressive as we would like to see him be.
That's it.
Okay, so what's the downside to being aggressive? I might get hurt, ruin my career. What do you think you're doing now, dude? How do you think you're handling your career now?
I don't know that that's the case. I
just
feel
think he's
like
a finesse player.
Exactly
well,
right.
Be in the finesse situation because I guess this ain't it.
And that's it. And I think Monty and the Suns want him to be more of a guy that wants to tear the backboard off the thing.
Which to me personally, I don't give a damn. Give me the points. And DeAndre, for the volume that he is asked to shoot, he gets me the points. 12 of 15. I don't care if you rip the
You're looking
backboard
at a
down.
stat sheet, though. You're not seeing it in the course of a game.
I am talking about the course of the game.
If you're watching the game, how are you not frustrated with him?
I mean, I am frustrated at times. I think that when you're 7 feet tall and you're playing against a guy who's 6'9", 6'10", 6'10's big. It ain't 7 feet. Me personally, punish the guy for being smaller than you. That is my mindset going into it. But he gets you the points. And so like it's not something that if he was doing all that and he was missing a bunch, and guys certainly do in this league, then I'm not worried about that because he's playing his style. And
so you're okay with him getting those stats, but you're okay also with him not getting us a finals championship?
I'm not going to put that on him because he's not the one that controls his own volume of shots. If he got more opportunities, he would put the ball in the basket more.
Maybe he'd get the ball more if he'd be more damn aggressive.
But that, to me, the aggression is not what matters. It's the points. And like
this team has low T.
and that's the part that's like confusing me. It's just like it's the points. We're watching the Suns be a jump shooting team. It's not like this is a wildly aggressive basketball team at any other point on the floor either. So get me the points. That's going to win games. But if you're not giving the ball to the guy who's literally taking the highest percentage shot on the floor, what are we doing?
Yeah. Yeah, they rely on a lot of outside shooting, a lot of 3 points, a lot of give and goes. They don't really rely on working the ball in like they used to back in the day. Back in the day, you just work the ball into Kobe, into Shaq, and just let him pound one down. Or you work it in to Sir Charles, power forward. He just goes in there and bodies some dude up, and he puts it in the basket. See, but DeAndre is not that kind of a player. And I think that's the downfall. You're going to go against teams that have like Draymond Green on them, Karl Anthony Towns, some of these guys that will just punish you if you don't stop them. Look what happened against Milwaukee. Antetokounmpo just bodied him up and made a fool out of him, and he folded like a cheap suit. You can't do that. That's the thing I'm trying to say. DeAndre may be a finesse player, but he's got to learn how to grow a pair and back some of these dudes down.
And I thought he was learning that. Like he's never going to be rip the rim off the backboard guy. But in terms of getting that deep post position where he's close to the basket and he gets his little hook shot off, I don't mind that because he's still scoring and he was able to do it over Karl Anthony Towns. He was this season able to do it over guys like Joel Embiid. So I know he can do it. That's not, to me, that's not really the issue there of whether or not you can back people down. With a lot of the league now, we can't trust big guys to stay on the floor with some of these smaller lineups, but DeAndre actually can, and that is incredibly valuable in my opinion.
Well, you know who DeAndre reminds me of is a
Rick Moranis.
No, Rick Moranis is about 4 feet tall. DeAndre's 7 feet. A young Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. If you watch Kareem, he was a very athletic center. He was not one of these bruisers under the net. Now, he would stand his ground, and he would, on occasion, put one down with emphasis when he had to make a point. And I think that's something that DeAndre needs to learn how to do.
Right.
It's like a battle of wills, you against this other man that you're playing, down on the post, and you want to put one down with emphasis to show this is my area and I'm going to take it. And I don't think DeAndre does that. I think he's too finesse right now. But Kareem also had that gentle little sky hook that he did, that little 10-footer. He would just drop that dude in, and it was like
on it.
It was a dagger. A dagger.
But he got that all the damn time. It was not, you never watched Kareem Abdul-Jabbar play and went, come on, man. You do with DeAndre Ayton. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a good comparison, but not quite.
Yeah,
he's
but
not
quite.
I
think this is a young Kareem. DeAndre is a young Kareem right now. He hasn't learned all those skills yet.
He's still 23. I don't know. Just to say that a guy can't do it because you've never seen it happen, but at 23 years old, you still need a whole lot more experience. He's not even close to. He's 4 years away from his prime.
Well, maybe you should wait till then to get his max contract.
Well, we won't have him then.
Pro Dog has his hate list. I'm not looking for hate lists, guys, but he says Cowboys, Steelers, Raiders, Oregon Ducks, and the NBA. That's a very strange list, Pro Dog, but your list is your list. So Power to you. Boomer Sooner says that Jeffrey is watching game 2 in Golden State just looked like a whole different team out there. Steph was on fire. His defense, good. Good game to watch for the Golden State Warrior fans. I don't know if you're scolding me. I don't know what the point is you're making, but it was a totally different game. I watched them both, and it was just bizarre how it flopped on that. Mr. Pink Eye says best white player ever was White Chocolate. And who's White Chocolate?
Jason Williams used to play for the Kings. I mean, that guy
I
would do
remember
stuff
him.
with the basketball. You can't believe the elbow pass is my favorite thing that he used to do. He'd go behind his back, and it looked like he was going to pass it around his back to the right side, but then he'd hit it with his elbow, so it would actually go back left. No one ever saw that coming. Chris Webber said that was the hardest thing to have to look out for because you never knew when he was going to unleash that on a team, but it was fun to watch.
You ever seen anybody do that since?
No.
Yeah, that's weird.
No, he's the only one I've ever seen do it.
Boogie says DeAndre Ayton doesn't want to be in Phoenix. Do a sign and trade and send him to Detroit and get some draft picks and Grant. Well, maybe not Detroit, Boogie. Nice try.
Well, no, but Detroit is actually one of the teams because people like Jeremy Grant, and Jeremy Grant could be that kind of, we can put him in front of Luka and that would work guy.
I
And
thought
also,
Boogie was just trying to pump up one of his stupid Detroit teams.
maybe, but they've also got the 5 pick. So
yeah,
if you're doing a sign and trade, yeah, you take Jeremy Grant, but you also say, look, I'm going to need that pick. That's not negotiable. And Detroit, they just drafted, their franchise guy, Cade Cunningham last year. They compare him with Ayton. I think that might actually be a trade that both sides could probably be happy with if they're willing to give up the 5 pick.
James Jones was not the GM when the Suns picked DeAndre Ayton. Am I correct on that? I'm pretty sure.
I think you're right.
Yeah,
I think that was still McDonough, right?
And McDonough and a different coach at that time. So random texter says there are people that say the Suns should re-sign DeAndre Ayton. By doing so, wouldn't they be admitting they made a mistake at drafting him number 1? Well, that's the thing. There is no mistake made by Monty or James Jones if they weren't here when it happened.
But even if they were admitting they were making a mistake, so what? If you think it's a mistake, the worst thing you can do is double down.
Well, that's what a random texter's exact words are. He says, but why double down on the mistake by re-signing him? Quit while you're ahead. I say, bye-bye, DeAndre Ayton.
If you really think that, oh boy, this is not working, we don't think that we can get much more out of him. Yeah, I mean, legitimately, you have to walk away from that. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. He's a restricted free agent.
Yeah. Like Lovie Smith says, some divorces are good ones.
Yeah. And with the restricted free agent, teams can offer him. You can
of course,
match
he said
the
that about
offer sheet.
Deshaun Watson.
Well.
Berg says, "You Arizona explains all you need to know about DeAndre Ayton." It's a good point. Yeah, that's not a bad point. Maybe if he'd gone to ASU, he'd come out tougher. You know what I mean? He'd come out better, stronger, faster. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know about that.
What if he took some night school at ASU?
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know that's what
work?
Changes it.
No.
FedFan says James Jones was a part of Suns management when he was selected. Yeah, but he wasn't the GM. He didn't have the decision making on that. It doesn't fold back on him like, oh, you picked him, James. It wasn't his call at the time.
Yeah, and it was McDonough.
Yeah.
Just double check that.
888-368-1580. We brought it up earlier, but the Quinn Snyder stepping down as the Jazz head coach. 8 seasons with the Utah Jazz, and he had 2 years, $2 million a year left remaining on the contract. What's the deal? He's only 55 years old, so he's not really retiring. I mean, maybe he's just tired of the grind and made enough money to be done. But I looked it up. He's got $7 million in the bank. Wouldn't you go a couple more years to put up like $4 more million in that bank? So let's go. What's the story on Quinn Snyder just walking away like this?
Well, from what I could see, he walked away because he said this team needs a different voice so they can evolve farther. Now, Donovan Mitchell is upset because he's like Quinn Snyder was a coach. That's why he signed an extension to stay here. And now what am I going to do? And he's worried about this team's direction under another coach. But I mean, Keon, what other head coach could Utah bring in that could take them to the next level? I mean, Quinn Snyder, he took him the last 6 years of his contract, took him to the playoffs every year, right? I mean, he's just a heartbeat away from moving on and going deep, on a deep run, right?
Yeah, and I think that there were just some headbutting between Quinn Snyder and management on just the direction of the team, because I don't think he's retiring. just that they were just not on the same page. And Quinn Snyder wanted to go elsewhere because this team keeps going to the playoffs. They'd go first or second round, and then they'd be out. They never really contended for a Western Conference title, much less a title.
So Quinn is blaming the team and not himself?
It's not that it's part of like, get me the players. And the Jazz organization didn't do a great job of getting him the players. You got Rudy Gobert, you got Donovan Mitchell. Who else do you really have? And, like, there wasn't a push to try and get more talent to that team. And I think that was where that disagreement was, because he's the second winningest coach in Jazz history. It's Jerry Sloan, Quinn Snyder, end of list. So he's the second greatest coach in the history of your franchise. You think that if that guy wanted to go get some pieces, you do what it would take to get him that and help him keep that. And that's just not what happened. And yeah, I do think that it's a rough move because Donovan Mitchell is about to be very unhappy. The idea was that Quinn Snyder is one of the best coaches in the NBA. And to answer your question about who they could go bring in, like who's going to be better than Quinn Snyder that you're just going to find right now?
Yeah,
I actually don't know.
Well, if that fan has an idea, she says DeAndre Ayton could retire from playing and become the head coach of Utah. She also asked if it means that Quinn can now get a haircut.
Maybe.
Probably.
I assume that he could have gotten one this whole time. Yeah, I just think
maybe he was on a haircut strike until management caved in. That could have been
the case. He'd have such long hair. Blissful Hayes says there's equal blame for the Mavericks loss. However, the biggest blame has to go to the two highest paid players. Booker and Paul needed to step up, and they choked again. They are the leaders of the team. That's an odd way of looking at it. The highest paid players. I don't know that is a factor.
I mean, I appreciate the thought, but at the same time, I don't hear Booker or CP3 skirting any of the responsibility or shirking any of the responsibility of the loss. They both said we played terrible, we fell flat, we didn't do a good enough job, we weren't prepared. They beat us. What else do you want them to do? You want them to give the money back? You want them to go run into the woods and blow their brains out? What do you want them to do? I mean,
well, can we go back to the money thing? Because I don't think they want to blow their own brains out. But maybe
that's
go
what
back
I
to
mean.
the money thing.
You pay players, and these guys fell short, and so they got to come back. And just the year before, they were in the finals. Yeah, they lost 4 games in a row to the Bucks, and it was a horrible meltdown. But still, it wasn't. Was it CP3 and Booker's fault in the finals last year? I don't think so. I think the whole team collapsed. I think the whole team collapsed this year against Dallas.
Hefty Lefty says with Quinn Snyder stepping down, Mitchell's about to hop in the transfer portal because the coach is leaving that recruited him. Wouldn't that be something if you could? I mean, I guess you can. It's called free agency, but
and it's also, depending on how much leverage you have, you could force a trade too. Whether or not you think that's for the good or bad of the NBA that a guy can even do that, you can force a trade.
Miss Springle says, is Blissful Hayes trolling again? Damn rednecks. All right, we have to take a break. When we come back, let's shift gears and talk us a little bit of baseball. There's some fun stuff to talk about. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
There's no doubt that Harman Solar can save you up to 85% on your monthly electric bill. That's a fact. Bruce Jacobs here. But did you know it's possible to get solar for $0 down and no payments for 12 months? You can lease, finance, or even purchase outright. They have plans that fit everybody. Harman Solar is a family-owned, woman-owned local company that uses top-of-the-line equipment. Call Harman Solar at 800-281-3189. That's 800-281-3189, or go to harmansolar.com.
If you're worried about your investments, you're not alone. These are challenging times, but it's not time to panic. It's time to act.
Hello, I'm Mo Ansari, founder and president of Compact Asset Management. With over 40 years of experience in the financial markets, I've seen what panic, indecision, and bad advice can do to investments. When markets are up, especially when they're down, it is important to be decisive yet balanced. That's our approach at Compact Asset Management. Call my office today at pound 250 and say, talk to Mo. We will discuss a proactive, balanced approach to your portfolio that can help safeguard your investments and keep you on track with your financial goals. Call pound 250 on your cell phone and say, talk to Mo, and let's create a strategy for your investments today. Again, from your cell phone, call pound 250 and say, talk to Mo.
Compact Asset Management is a registered investment advisor, funds custodian, Fidelity Institutional Wealth Services, member FINRA, SIPC.
Hey everybody, Mark Asher back to tell you about my great friends over at the Lund Mortgage Team. Now, we've seen interest rates go as low as we've seen them in years recently. We've also seen them bouncing around. A lot of uncertainty of what is going on in the loan game as far as mortgages are concerned. That's why I lean on my friends at the Lund Mortgage Team. They have been in business for 20 plus years here in the Valley. They only lend in Arizona. They are trusted. They'll get you that reliable quote. And if you're thinking about refinancing, whether it's to just lower your rate, maybe lower the terms of your rate, maybe down to 15 or 20 years, or if you're like, hey, we got a lot of debt on the side, we got some problems going on, we want to consolidate debt, or I've always wanted a pool. Now's the time to do it. Take some of that equity out, refinance, and get things done around your house that you want. But you got to use the best in the business. That's the Lund Mortgage Team. 623-875-9940, 623-875-9940, or check them out online, lundmortgage.com.
You can hear the grunts of pain. You can smell the workout sweat. You can feel the muscles straining. And even if you can't, we can. And that's all that really matters. NFL training camp. Rumbling, bumbling, stumbling. Here we go. It fills the senses. Well, everyone's but yours. Get the latest info, insights, and breaking news here. Respect what it is we're doing here. On your home for the NFL, 1580 and 99.3, The Fanatic.
David Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic. I don't know if you've watched any of that Obi-Wan Kenobi show or not, but I don't know how I feel about middle-aged Obi-Wan. I feel like I might have fought a little harder than that. I'm not going to spoil anything. I'm just saying he just looks like I feel a lot of the time. You know what I'm saying?
This is the interim between the last Star Wars that leads up to the Luke Skywalker grown-up Star Wars, right? This is where he ends up in the desert of Tatooine.
Yeah, this is right after the prequel where he does a little Benihana on Anakin Skywalker and he becomes Darth Vader in that volcano.
Right.
And this is 10 years after that. So that's the timeline.
Yeah.
And but he goes from, hey, I'm a badass Jedi to, oh, geez, not again. And he just, and he looks the way I feel, the way he's just like, he just doesn't want to. He wants nothing to do with anything. He's got no energy left. And I'm like, Obi-Wan is suffering low testosterone right now. Okay. That's all I can say. There's a lot of, I don't know what the hell's going on there, but I just watching it. I'm just like, come on, man, make an effort. You know?
I may some weekend have to actually sit down and watch them all from beginning. You probably didn't know this about me, Jeffrey, but I am a Star Wars geek. Have been ever since I saw the first one back in the 70s. So I may have to set one whole weekend, send Miss Kim away to a, like a spa staycation or something. Go get your friend and go to a staycation. And I just need, maybe a case of beer.
I'll join you.
Some cold cuts and just watch all of them back to back.
I'll join you for that. I mean, I'll suffer through the crap ones at the very beginning, the ones from the 2000s, and then we go back to the ones with the 70s because they're all out of order, because George Lucas. Yeah. But I tell you, the Obi-Wan's a little slow moving, but I think it's a promising thing. I don't know. I've only watched a couple episodes so far, and I've been like, oh, come on, man, step it up, and we'll see what this. I haven't watched the third episode yet, but hopefully he gets a little bit more energy into his his step. Right now he's hiding. He's just like hiding. Anyways, Rye Guy says, oh, Rye Guy, you may have something there. Rye Guy, Quinn to the Lake Show, the Jello may be jiggling. That is interesting because they wanted Desmond Howard, and of course we all know he said no.
Oh, you mean Juwan Howard?
Juwan Howard, sorry. What did I say?
You said Desmond.
Oh, I was thinking Desmond Tutu.
I don't know. Mistake. Yeah.
Anyway, so Quinn as the Lakers head coach, there might be something there.
But haven't they already hired? Hasn't the Lakers already hired a guy?
They hired Darvin Ham.
Oh, that's right.
Ham
I
Hawks.
forgot.
Yeah.
He was so impressive. I forgot he existed. So sorry, Rye Guy, you're a little late on that. Yeah, I forgot. Darvin Ham. Was I around when we talked about that? Or I think I was off the show. What was your thoughts on Darvin Ham?
I
like ham. I like ham. I like to smoke ham.
Not
And,
kosher.
True.
Well, I'm not a kosher person. I am not a person of kosherness, but I'm a Gentile by
Kosher
trade.
stuff is always pretty good, though. You know, it says
but,
kosher. It's always pretty good.
But you can really smoke some nice ham. As far as the coach, I don't know anything about him. Keon, tell me about this.
Yeah,
guy.
I can't tell you too much about Darvin Ham. I know that the Lakers like that he and again, this I think is just a prerequisite to coaching that Lakers team. You have to look at the current roster and go, yeah, I can fix that. And Darvin Ham believes that he can. He believes that he can get the best out of Russell Westbrook.
What do you think he goes by? Because nobody goes by Darvin. Come on,
Hawks. Probably Hawks.
Do you call it Darvin?
No, he goes by Hawks. Ham Hawks.
Darvin. I'm sorry, but it just doesn't seem like a
you're like a discount Marvin at that point.
Darvin.
You could have just been a Marvin.
Tony, the perfect nickname is Hawks. Take it from a former baseball player. Hawks. That's what you call the guy.
My name is Darvin. I'm here to help you. I got my calculator here.
Heckler Jones says, nerds. Okay, so we like Star Wars. I like Star Trek. You know what I'm saying? As entertainment, I will never go to a convention and I'll watch the movie or TV show, but I'm not like, come on, step back. So you can like a show and say, hey, that's fun. I can go watch all these Star Wars movies with Randy, but you see us ever cosplaying? You know, do you see us ever going to a some sort of an event? No, you appreciate it for what it's supposed to be, and that's just good entertainment. And if you say it's not good, well, okay, a couple of the movies were crap, but if you say it's not good entertainment, you're just lying to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Cardinal Art says Lakers also signed Rashid always get a Tech Wallace as an assistant. Well,
why not?
Hey, listen, I'm not going to tell them how to do anything because I love when they suck. So I'm just going to leave it at that. Hefty Lefty says, you know who else likes cold cuts? Icky Woods. That's true.
Yeah.
He does like the cold cuts.
Some cold cuts. Woo! Getting some cold cuts today, ladies. Wham! Yeah.
You got to see the commercial.
Yeah.
Big George says, I really think Ted Williams' head needs to be to be a space on the Scottsdale Monopoly board.
Could be.
Where we talk?
There was a thing about a minor league baseball team. Friday it was on the Wheel of Sports. Minor league baseball team, the Douglas Miami a copper ore or something like that. They had a promotion that was in bad taste, according to some people, where it had frozen popsicle night, and it was around the time that his head was encapsulated in cryogenic.
It was like a
why
it was a Ted Williams
night.
appreciation.
No, why is that is insulting?
They
I think
handed
that's
out
awesome.
popsicles. They handed
Ted
out
Williams
popsicles.
night. Here's a popsicle. Come on.
handed out, red or blue popsicles. And some people found that bad. And of course, the Fourth Dimension picked up on that.
I love.
You'd have been proud of them, Jeffco. You'd have
Yeah.
been proud of them.
All right. Good, because I agree. Fed Fan says, you guys do you. I personally like the series The Walking Dead. You know, I watched some episodes of it, and some people are really into it. You know who's really into it? Women. And I think here's why it is. Here's my interpretation of The Walking Dead. When we're walking and we're walking and we're talking and we're walking and we're walking and walking and we're talking and we're talking and we're walking and we're walking. Zombies! And then we're walking and we're talking and we're talking. And
So you're saying there's a lot of talking and walking
and walking and talking and talking.
And
And
as a
zombie! And it's not.
occasional action.
It's a
The-
soap opera. Is
The
what it
living
is.
people do a lot of walking and talking.
A whole lot of damn walking and talking and very little action. And it's all about my feelings. And come on now. Come on. It's just, to me, and I've watched a good chunk of episodes that first season, and I'm just like, okay, I'm done. It's a soap opera. Tell me if I'm wrong. Big George says, I really, I already read that. He says, are there any sand people in the new Obi-Wan show?
No, I think they come along later.
Probably. They were in the Boba Fett show. Yeah, I'm not going to say any more about that.
The sand people were in the Boba Fett.
Oh, yeah.
With that humongous giant tank.
That thing. Yeah. Yeah. No, those are the Jawas, little guys with the.
Oh, the little guys?
Those guys. Yeah.
That's the Jawas with the big tank.
The Kyler Murray height characters. Those guys.
Were the Kylers.
Yeah, the Kyler Murrays. Hefty Lefty says, on the contrary, I believe that promotion tastes very good. Who doesn't like popsicles? I don't know. I'm reading Hefty Lefty like this.
I love popsicles.
When did he become British?
I don't know.
When the grandkids come over my house, and Miss Kim stocks up on the popsicles. and I find them.
My wife remembers from her childhood the red, white, and blue popsicles.
Oh yeah,
What were those called?
Bullet pops. Those were the bullet pops.
She's like, man, I wish we had some bullet pops. I guess you can't find them anymore in the stores, can you?
Nah, you get those. They also had them in it was like a cherry and orange version.
Oh, yeah.
my god! Those were the best.
Mm-hmm. Big George has an update for us. Diamondbacks already losing 2-0 to the Cincinnati Reds. Jeffrey was right. It's embarrassing. It is embarrassing.
Take a deep breath.
Yeah. Let's talk about some other things in baseball. I want to take a moment just to address something. The 5 Tampa Bay Rays players declined to wear the LGBTQ logos on their uniforms. You know, the little rainbow things, like right there. You got their logo, and the TB has the rainbow on it and all that good stuff. And I got to say, if they are truly doing it based on their faith, I have no problem with that. I have no problem with that. Here's why. Can I just say, if it's their faith and that is something they believe in, I would rather they stay true to that and be consistent about their faith. And they're not saying they're hating on gay people. They're saying that we can't agree with that based on what we believe in. And now I feel like, if I were in that conversation with them, I feel like, well, they're about 1,000,000% wrong about things, but I can respect that is what they believe in their faith. And I would rather they be honest and true to their faith. That gives me a little more credibility, believing other things that somebody might say. When somebody is loose with their faith and pick and choose with their faith, then you're kind of like, But when it comes to just wearing the logos, hey, I got no problem with that if you don't feel that that is the right thing for you to do in your faith. Does not open the door for you to hate people. Doesn't open the door for you to harass people. Doesn't open the door for you to discriminate against people. But if you believe a certain way and, wearing that logo, you really do feel is insulting to your faith, then okay. As long as you're not being evil, as long as you're not doing those things I just said you shouldn't do, no, I think it's a non-issue. It's just a non-issue.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I just think you shouldn't. I don't know. I would agree. I would disagree with those players. But I think that would be something that I would be willing to talk to those guys about, as opposed to, well, we've got to make you wear this patch. I don't like the idea that they would have to be forced to wear it, that they would have to be made to wear something that they simply don't agree with. I would rather try and talk you into agreeing, which that would be, to me, more productive, as opposed to, because here's what happens. You force people to double down and maybe even lash out and say things that they don't mean or don't intend to say, when you start pressing them to do stuff like that, to wear a patch that maybe doesn't represent something that they don't want to represent.
Right. And, so, yeah, if these guys, Jason Adam, Jalen Beeks, Brooks Raley, Jeffrey Springs, and Ryan Thompson, pitchers, if they really truly are doing this based that makes them uncomfortable because of their beliefs, because of their faiths, I find no fault in this. The difference would be is if they were mad that anybody's doing it. I can't believe we're blah, 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 blah. If it's the team has decided and the other players have decided, yeah, it's Pride Month or whatever it is, and hey, here's to you guys out there. Now you've crossed a line, but saying for yourself, it's not what I believe in, not something I feel comfortable doing. No problem at all. Big George says, is this like when Kramer wouldn't wear the ribbon during the AIDS walk and got beat up for not wearing it? Well, we'll see. We'll see.
I liked what they said, though, and they were talking about they want LGBTQ fans to still show up to the ballpark and feel like they matter. It's just them personally, they can't wear the patch. I have no problem with that.
What it is it's polite ignorance, in my opinion. And on their side, it's no, this is what we believe and it's legit. Okay. So, hey, at least we're not hating on each other. That's all that matters. Cardinal Art says, can you pour me up a nice cold brewski, Randy? And also, it's hot. Well,
yeah, no kidding.
Hot is defined
hotter
by 110, I thought. Didn't we define hot was 110?
Well, yeah, and I don't know what the current temperature is. 100 and 3 in downtown Phoenix right now, going for a high of 104 today.
Wednesday
But
will be hot.
Well, this Saturday is supposed to be 110.
No, actually, I see it says Wednesday. Wednesday,
Oh, is it
111.
Wednesday?
Saturday,
Yeah.
116. That's
there you go.
hot.
I see, now that's hot. Yeah, that's it.
Friggin'
Yeah,
hot.
this 103, that's all that is spring.
We'll have to bring out the It's Hot song when it finally breaks 110.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go find that. So anyways, let's talk about Max Scherzer, another dumb pitcher, accident at home. He's trying to help his dog out there. His dog was having a little issue. Got hurt her leg on a run. And she was howling in pain, and he's trying to help the dog, and the dog just snapped at him and bit him on the hand right there. Freak thing. At least it wasn't like a drone or falling off the ladder. Or
But this is legit. Yeah.
Jumping out of a window, doing stupid crap. But no, this was a real thing. This Max Scherzer getting bit. But he'll, he's fine now, though.
I just feel like you just, if you send a starting pitcher home and you really value that guy, you just wrap him in bubble wrap. Just complete. He's got to look like the Michelin Man, but in bubble wrap by the time you're done.
I'm sure
Well,
they'd love
I-
to, but how do you do that?
I mean, I think Max Scherzer by this point in his career understands, and this was like a freak weird thing where he was out for a run trying to stay in shape. His dog got injured. He cares about his dog, was trying to help. Dog bites him. Okay, that's legitimate. But when you go home and you don't need to get on a damn ladder or drive on a motorcycle or be flying drones around and sticking your hands in the middle of their damn propellers. All right, now that right there
You're
is
taking all the
stupidity.
fun out of it.
Yeah, that's stupidity right there.
There is some dumb stuff
Where's the
involved.
fun then? What's the point of making all that money if you can't have fun with it?
You know what? Wait until after this damn season. Do your job and be able to pitch instead of sticking your hands, Bauer, I'm talking to you, into a bunch of drone blades to see how hard they really are. Yeah, they're hard. They cut your damn hand. Nearly cut your finger off.
There wasn't a twig around that you had to use your hand.
What the hell are you doing anyway? Put your
Hey.
hand out. Who in their right
If I
mind
want
puts
to
their
go
hand in the
home,
middle of whirring blades on a drone? Who the hell does that?
this is America, Randy. If I want to go home and stick my fingers in a propeller blade and see what happens, by God, it's my right.
If I want to walk into a Cessna 172 blade that's turning, that's my right. Is that it?
Well,
Holy
that's it.
cow.
Now you just went full Indiana Jones on that reference.
Oh, my God. Got him out of that sticky situation with that big German cat, though.
Yeah,
didn't
the German guy
Yeah.
is situational awareness there, Kraut. Okay.
he? Yeah, he turned around. It was like, whoop, and it was over.
That was awesome. Santa's number one helper says Z Nation is a good zombie show. Not that young and restless Walking Dead stuff. Thanks for the tip on that, Santa's number one helper. And the Reaper says you can find those bomb pops in Fry's and Walmart. Oh, they still make them? Huh. All right. Thanks for the tip on that, Reaper. Appreciate that. All right. Got to take a break. When we come back, a little more baseball, but on the way, a lot more football. We got tons of football stuff to talk about. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
We're the one who protects the flock, and that requires an eye for detail. Because when safety and well-being are on the line, it's the details that can save lives. Even when no one else is watching, you see everything. Grainger gets you, and we're here for you, and all the ones who get it done with a wide range of safety products and solutions, plus board-certified safety consultants here to answer your questions. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey everybody, Mark Asher back to tell you about my great friends over at the Lund Mortgage Team. Now, we've seen interest rates go as low as we've seen them in years recently. We've also seen them bouncing around. A lot of uncertainty of what is going on in the loan game as far as mortgages are concerned. That's why I lean on my friends at the Lund Mortgage Team. They have been in business for 20 plus years here in the Valley. They only lend in Arizona. They are trusted. They'll get you that reliable quote. And if you're thinking about refinancing, whether it's to just lower your rate, maybe lower the terms of your rate, maybe down to 15 or 20 years, or if you're like, hey, we got a lot of debt on the side, we got some problems going on, we want to consolidate debt, or I've always wanted a pool. Now's the time to do it. Take some of that equity out, refinance, and get things done around your house that you want. But you got to use the best in the business. That's the Lund Mortgage Team. 623-875-9940. 623-875-9940. Or check them out online, lundmortgage.com.
Uncertain times can lead to fearful investing, which could leave you in a bad spot, especially if you're trading on emotion. When tumult opens and closes the market, you need sound advice.
Hello, I'm Mo Ansari, host of Market Wrap and president of Compact Asset Management. If fear has you in its grips, it's time to take a look at your investments. At Compact Asset Management, we specialize in providing complete wealth management solutions to help you reach your financial goals, no matter where the market goes. Dial pound 250 in your cell phone and say Talk to Mo for a free portfolio review. We will also discuss how we can work together to create your customized retirement plan. Call pound 250 on the cell phone and say Talk to Mo, and let us help you take the fear out of your portfolio. Again, call pound 250 on the cell phone and say Talk to Mo.
Compact Asset Management is a registered investment advisor, funds custodian, Fidelity Institutional Wealth Services, member FINRA SIPC.
This is Brad Musburger. Don't miss Betting Across America, Saturdays at 11 a.m. right here on Arizona Sports Betting Station, 1580 and 99.3, The Fanatic.
Welcome back to the Daily Blender on this Monday, June 6th. And you can go yard all June long with $5 Dinger Tuesdays on FanDuel Sportsbook. And this season, all customers get $5 for every home run hit by both teams. When you place a $25 to hit a home run wager on Tuesday MLB games, here's how it works. You find your home run hitter. It might be, Bryce, what's his overrated? Bryce overrated? What's his name? Bryce.
Yeah, DeChambeau?
That sounds right.
No,
Bryce Harper.
Bryce Harper.
But Bryce overrated works for me.
What? Bryce overrated. You get that guy. He's been hitting a lot of home runs lately, so he's in one of his streaky streaks. You might get Christian Walker. He's got, I think 18 now. Ding dongs, and they're playing right now against the powerhouse Cincinnati Red Machine. You can, Aaron Judge. How about him? How about Aaron Judge lately? Look, all I know is the ball left my hand, officer. And then the next thing I know, I was unconscious and the ball left the park and the sonic boom and knocked me out. Hey, it's things like that that could get you paid on the FanDuel Sportsbook. What are you waiting for? Pick your home run hitter. I just gave you a couple of them and turn big swings into big wins. No other place to bet America's pastime than on America's #1 sportsbook. Head over to your FanDuel account or download the FanDuel Sportsbook app and sign up using promo code Randy1580. That's promo code Randy1580. By the way, not only laboratory tested, but apparently inspired by the Holy Father. His name rhymes with soap. Has blessed this, saying this is the Luck is promo code. So you might want to get it now using my promo code.
Blessed, not lucky. Blessed.
Blessed. I'm sorry about that. 21 and older, present in Arizona. That sounded like the Halo soundtrack for a second, Jeff. Can you do that while I read the disclaimer? 21 and older, present in Arizona. Bonus issued as a non-withdrawable site credit that expires in 7 days. Max bonus $25. Restrictions apply. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT STEP to 53342. Thank you. I might have to play.
That was an incantation.
Little Halo after I get off the air tonight.
I need a decantation before I could do some incantation, which means I got to get liquored up to do that crap.
All right.
888-368-1580. Hefty Lefty says, knowing Bauer, he's probably doing that for the sexual thrill.
Sticking his hand in the blades of a drone.
Oh, yeah, we didn't even think about that. So like, oh yeah, come on, drone.
It turns me on, man.
Swave Dave's like, oh gee, my fingers. Will it blend? Yeah, no, they won't. Spoiler alert. Navy Brad says, happy Monday, gents. Question, any thoughts on when and where the fantasy draft may take place?
No.
In my pants.
No.
There's a party.
No.
My pants
No.
Party.
No.
My pants.
No, Jeffrey.
Party of one.
Jeffrey, how many times
Party
have
of
I
many.
how many times have I told you you can't use that?
All right, fine. We don't know,
for the-
Navy Brad. We
Yeah.
don't know. Fed fan says Jeffrey's chanting just woke up my dog.
Mm.
I get blamed for so much. Dog's going to do what a dog's going to do. Fed fan.
You know what? Your chanting was majestic. So you
Thank
stay
you,
with
Randy.
it, Jeff.
I appreciate that. Rye Guy says, good. Too bad the dog didn't lop his whole damn hand off. God, I hate the Dodgers.
What?
He's talking about Bauer. When
Oh.
Bauer, the dog bit, when the dog bit
Max Scherzer.
Max Scherzer.
He's a Met now.
Yeah, he's a Met now. He's no longer on the Dodgers.
Rye Guy can't forget.
Mm.
Santa's number one helper says, you want to see real zombies in Arizona? Go by 12th and Jefferson Street. That's not right. Random texture says, Randy, you're giving pitchers a hard time for sticking their hands in propellers of drones. Randy, you're in radio and you get into yelling rants a lot. Isn't that like the pot calling the kettle black? What?
I don't know what that means.
How is Randy going on a rant the same as somebody sticking their damn hand in the propellers of a drone?
Are you concerned that I'm going to lose the golden tones here? Is that what you're concerned? I think
your fingers definitely aren't going to get cut off.
Yeah, well,
right.
so
I
here
have
it
all
is.
my digits right here, and the golden tones do not go away.
If you're going on a rant, that is part of your job. If you're pitching and you hurt your hand in the act of pitching, that is part of your job.
Yeah.
If you take your hand and stick it in between the blades, the propeller blades of a drone,
Of an active drone,
that is not only not your job, it is incredibly stupid. And it would be like if Randy just drank bleach just to try and see what it tasted like and then messed up his voice. Like that would be more similar. So no, it's not like the pot.
Well, the
calling
guy
kettle.
is suggesting we drink bleach is out of office now. So I think we're all safe.
Mm.
888-368-1580. Tijuas says, welcome back, Jeffrey. How much did you win to be able to take the Randy vacation? Oh, no. I was on assignment. Part of it was cleaning up after Randy White, but I'm not going to go into it at the request of our legal team.
Wait, what?
Hefty Lefty says Deshaun Watson was disappointed to learn what Dinger Tuesday was actually about in real life.
I haven't heard, so this is going to be a surprise to me. I have not heard this story yet. So.
We're going to get around to Deshaun Watson here in a moment. Before we're still kind of talking baseball. So, the Chicago Cubs beat the Cardinals at Wrigley Field the other night. And,
oh boy!
But here's the thing. People get to have some fun in the stands, right? Sometimes they do the wave. Sometimes they catch a foul ball. Sometimes they have signs. Sometimes they do dances. Sometimes, you do what you got to do. And let's face it, say what you will, baseball, it takes some time. So, I mean, sometimes you got to, sort of also find ways to entertain yourself. And some people up there had taken a large number of empty beer cups and created a pyramid or a pyramid. And it was very impressive. It was about as tall as a person, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And it was kind of cool. So, he was on the camera there and he was like, hey, look at that. They got themselves a pyramid going on over there. Isn't that nice? Yeah. And then this usher just walks over and just goes, knocks the whole thing down.
That guy should be fired.
Why would you do that? First off, you think it's going to be easier to clean knocked over, or is it going to be easier to clean if you just go take it down one thing at a time? And it wasn't hurting nobody,
and it couldn't. Like it's a stack of cups. If they falls over,
yeah, and everybody in the area was in on it.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
I saw that too. That guy. If you're that person, I can just see it from his face. You've been a killjoy at every stage of your life. You were the guy that snitched on everybody that was having fun at recess. You were that guy.
Oh, yeah.
Or he was just like, I got to do it. I got to do it. If he'd gone over, there's a smile, stood there and went, boom, had fun with it.
I would have respected that.
But no, he went over, he's like,
you shouldn't have a pyramid here. And then he knocked them all over.
Pyramids are fun.
Now pick up your mess. Pick up your mess.
No.
So he got
you
booed.
pick it up.
He got booed, and that's the way it should be. That was just kind of they should if they don't. I don't think they need to fire him over it, but he needs a good stern talking to, saying, it's a game, and people are here to have fun. As long as they're not hurting someone,
yeah.
Then why would you do that? Come on, Bob.
But that's actually one of the most wholesome things that's happened in a stadium,
right?
Since COVID ended,
right?
And this guy was just like, "Yeah, no, I don't like that either."
I gotta work. I hate all of you. Hefty says, I'm glad to see that Gru got a new job after being a supervillain turned secret agent. Were the minions there to knock down the smaller pyramids? Rye Guy says, what do you think the over-under is on the number of Skittles in a normal size pack? I have a pack here and I'm curious. If you're going to count them, I'll say 38.
Over 50.
Well, I don't know the over-under. We're just guessing. So Randy says, you got to give a number. It's Price is Right rules. Closest without going over win.
He said over under. The text said over under, did it not?
Yeah, but we can't determine that. So I'm saying we do Price is Right rules. Closest
You're
without
saying
going over.
38.
I said 38.
1.
You son of a bitch.
Fine, I'll go.
Wait,
40.
that doesn't work here, Randy. Closest without going over might not be one. Oh, guess you're right. Yeah. You say 40. I say 38. Randy says 1. All right, Rye Guy. Start to counting. Let us know. Donnie says, I sliced my fingers Memorial Day weekend trying to stop a drone. Pro tip, don't fly one inside your house. That depends on the size. I have like a little drone. You can play. They're hard to control, though. A big drone in your house. Yeah, that's pretty dopey. Fed Fan says 44. Hefty Lefty says 86 and a half. Yeah, but this is a normal size pack. I don't think there's going to be 86.
So is it a 6-ounce pack? Is it a
normal size, whatever normal
extra
size
king
is.
pack? Is it well, that's what we need to know.
All right, when you give us the count, Rye Guy, give us the deets on the package.
Ounces on that. Yeah.
I like my chances. 888-368-1580. How about, Espen just keeps getting better and better, don't they? You know who Troy Eklund is? He was announcing a college baseball game here, and he's just like, oh, yeah, that player right there, he tested positive for PEDs. So that's why he was gone. The only problem was he was not. And now people are mad. He's like, oh, yeah, it's this this kid here, Evan Russell, he's unavailable because he got in trouble. And it turns out they're like, no, he's just sick. What are you talking about? Busted for Pete. Where'd you even get this? So the announcer just is like making crap up. Oh, he tested positive for PEDs.
Well, you thought it was college baseball, so nobody would notice that you said this on the nationally televised sports network. Just
idiot.
You thought it wasn't going to come up again?
And Tennessee's like, hey, he was sick. He was not, there's no violation here. What are you talking about? So, the broadcast producers might be in trouble. Eklund probably in trouble. Who knows who's in trouble? Somebody needs to be in trouble because that's a horrible thing to tag on a kid. You know what I mean? Dropping the Soap says 56 Skittle pieces. Lock it in. Final answer. Okay. Remember, without going over. Mr. Pink Eye says, how about Ayton for Julius Randle straight up? Would you do it?
No, I think Julius is too small. And also I don't think the contracts would work if you go max with Ayton. But anyway, I think that Julius is a bit small. I think you'd have to get Julius and somebody from New York.
Hefty Lefty says, I like to pretend I'm King Kong when those little drones are flying around. Yeah, I can see that. Rye Guy says, no, it's a normal size pack, 2.17 ounces. So just like, the candy bar size and just whatever you'd buy from the convenience store, the normal.
All right, so my pick is 1.
My this is 38 still. You want to change yours?
No, I'll stick with 40.
All right, Rye Guy, start counting, man. You're going to touch them all, which means you're the only one who can eat them. So that's a plus, I think, right there. You just touch them all yourselves.
Now I'm hungry for Skittles.
Speaking of touching things, Deshaun Watson's lawyer, Rusty Hardin, was on a radio show, and he started saying that happy endings, those aren't illegal. It's not illegal to, ask for a happy ending. And so it's like, oh, I think it is. I'm pretty sure that is. And he was saying is, no, what I mean is if something just happens between two people and it's consensual, it's not illegal. Yeah, but that's not really what was happening here, was it, Rusty? And he just talked himself into probably losing that case, which was the assessment of the lawyer from the other side. But wow, this is not helping Deshaun Watson. What in the heck is going to come out in this in these cases that this lawyer thinks it's a good idea to try to push the narrative that no, it's not illegal. No. Asking for happy endings not illegal. Ask Bob Kraft how illegal that is or isn't.
Yeah, I understand what he was trying to say, but it still doesn't. First off, it doesn't help him even if that's true. But Yeah, no, you can't ask for that. I don't understand how
The lawyer's name is Harden.
Yeah, it's Rusty Harden.
But it's
Hard.
Rusty. He is quite old. The only thing young about him is that toupee. Anyway, we'll talk about this when we come back. I don't think we need to define the legal or illegal. Well, maybe Big George can comment, but I am pretty sure asking for it is illegal. You know what I'm saying? It is. There's no getting around it, Rusty. There's no getting around this. So now he had to backtrack that. And then a 24th lawsuit has come out. Things are not looking good for Deshaun Watson. We'll have that information on the Skittles when we come back. It's the Daily Blender on 1580 The Fanatic.
By now, you know that sound. It's the sound of the Home Depot. But what about those sounds? Those are the sounds of a brand new ice maker dropping cubes into a fresh glass of water, making this the sound of savings on top brand appliances. The Home Depot. How doers get more done. Final days ends June 8th to save up to 30% off select appliances. Valid May 19th through June 8th. Gas range extra. While supplies last. See store for details.
DQ presents the sound of an all-star summer lineup. Leading off, the promising rookie, new Oreo Dirt Pie. On deck, the fan favorite Girl Scout Thin Mints. Summer standouts, Drumstick with peanuts and cotton candy. And batting cleanup, it's you. With your red spoon and 6 summer blizzard flavors, official treat of MLB. All part of the new DQ All-Star Summer Blizzard lineup. DQ? Happy tastes good.
Market Wrap host Mo Ansari on creating a well-balanced portfolio.
Are you just chasing this hot stock and that hot stock? Or do you have a plan? Do you have a balanced portfolio where you have a little bit in healthcare, a little bit in technology, a little bit maybe in energy even? How much do you have in the subsectors like communication services and technology? And then you look at all the stocks within those areas and say, okay, this is the one I like and this is the one that I don't like. But you have to have that balance. And then finding the right balance depending on what you're trying to accomplish. If you're looking for income in your portfolio, maybe you want more dividend paying stocks, or I've got 20 years, I want growth.
If you need help creating a well-balanced portfolio, call pound 250 and say, talk to Mo, or go to compact.com and click on the Get Started button. Again, from your cell phone, call pound 250 and say, talk to Mo, or visit compact.com and click on the Get Started button.
Compact Asset Management is a registered investment advisor, funds custodian, Fidelity Institutional Wealth Services member, FINRA SIPC.
Steve Jurich here. After working in financial services for over 20 years, I've finally confirmed what investors really want, including me. And it's simple. All they're asking for is 20% annual return with no risk at 100% liquidity. Here's the problem. A money market is safe and liquid, but offers almost zero yield. Mutual funds and ETFs are liquid with upside potential, but aren't safe. A carefully selected next generation index annuity through IQ Wealth may offer 10% ample liquidity, principal protection, and a lifetime income yield potentially double to triple that of quality bonds. By yielding more income using fewer dollars, our system allocates more money for you for capital growth. It's a winning combination.
Call leading annuity authority Steve Jurich now, 480-902-3333. Guarantees rely on the claims paying ability of the insurer, so compare with Steve, 480-902-3333. Call Steve now.
KQFN Tempe. Also transmitting on K25CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM and K24EU Fountain Hills at 95.9 FM.
It's time for the third hour.
Quiet, people, settle down because it's time.
Time for what? Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show. Let's do it.
All right, buddy, it's 5 o'clock here on the Daily Blender. I'm your good friend, your radio pal, Jeffrey O'Brien, alongside Randy White. Got Keon Rose in the control room, and you guys are on the Fanatic text line, 888-368-1580, as we broadcast live in the Harman Solar Studios in Scottsdale. I said 38 Skittles. Keon said how many? 44?
I said 40.
Yeah, 40. And Randy, you said 1. The final number is in. The final number is in from Rye Guy. He says, I guess 45, but damn, it was 58. 58 Skittles in a regular size. I'm surprised it's that many. So 58 dropping the soap was the closest. He says 56 Skittle pieces. And do I win a PS5? Yes.
No.
You go to Best Buy and say, hey, I'm here to pick up the PS5 that I won on the radio.
Yeah.
Let us know what happens. Probably have somebody record it. It'll be fun.
Don't mention our station or anything.
Yeah, say I won this on Arizona's 98.7. That come on,
Yeah.
give me my damn
Sports
PS5.
98.7. Yeah.
Or I'm gonna start breaking stuff in here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't listen to that crap. I don't know how they actually say it. Hefty Lefty says the written account of the 24th woman reads like a described video for the visually impaired, but from the hub. I do not understand much of what you just said there. What is it saying?
I will try to simplify it.
Is it like Dear Penthouse Magazine? I never thought this would happen to me. Is that what you're saying?
The 24th one is just very graphic.
Oh,
yeah.
I did not read that, but I did get the gist of it. I said gist from reading some articles and stuff. But Big George says, Jeffrey, you're right. Asking for it is no excuse. That's one of the dumbest things I've ever heard. I can't believe a lawyer would try to make the excuse for Deshaun Watson.
I think he was just trying to say if it should so happen to go down.
Hey, if the towel slid aside and you just decided the goodness of your own heart, I think I'm going to give this fella a happy ending. It's not illegal.
But to quote the texter just now, where else would that happen besides the hub? Like, that's not going to happen in real life. What are the odds that just happens? You just get a massage and the massage therapist is just so enamored with you that she can't help but give you a happy ending by the time you're done. Like, what world is Rusty Hardin actually living in?
Well, the new lawsuit does claim that he secured massages from random strangers more than 100 times. This is a guy with a certain fetish, I mean, yeah.
No kidding.
This is he's implying, insinuating, asking for that to happen. This is not going to end well for a handful of people. One of them being Deshaun Watson. Here's the thing that kind of sticks, though, Big George, and having worked in a prosecutor's office, maybe you can help me here. So you got all these lawsuits, and there's like, oh my gosh, 24 women. Oh, that's a lot. And then you hear he's dead. He's done this 100 times or more, which means not everybody he did this with has come forward. If you've got proof, that's the thing. How can they say he secured massages from random strangers more than 100 times? How do you prove that? Where's the evidence there? If there is evidence that is showing that, how in the hell was this guy not prosecuted?
I don't know. The only bit of evidence I would think that you could prove it with is
receipts.
Basically, because
text messages.
From what I understand, he reached out on Instagram to
the
massage therapist. So if the massage therapist that he reached out to kept their messages, maybe took screenshots and stuff, and they still have that to prove, okay, he did try to do this. That would be, I think, the most that you would have to say that you did. I don't know if they have that or not. I'm just saying that that's what would count as proof.
Yeah, I guess I'm still waiting for Big George to tell me why wouldn't they prosecute this if maybe this person wasn't part of the group that went to the cops, but if that information is presented, somewhere there's evidence that he has done this over 100 times, but then again, in the Instagram, he might be saying, hey, I'm looking for a massage. He may not say, hey, I'm looking for a massage with a happy ending. And so he's looking for massage. That's not enough to prosecute. It's only prosecutable if there is some sort of evidence that he asked for or pressured or then also harassed and assaulted. That, I guess, they didn't feel like they had any evidence on. So, but boy, it ain't looking good. It ain't looking good. But
from the first victim, the way she described how things went down, he didn't start acting funny until after she got there. So it wasn't, there was no way for her to know in the messages.
Here's the phone call. Hey, this is Deshaun Watson. Kind of like to get myself a massage. Are you available? Yeah. Okay. Here's where it is. All right, I'll see you then. Like, it wasn't like this. Hey there, I'm trying to give you a massage. You that kind of massage artist? I don't think the bad guys never show up that way, do they? They don't show up that way. They're, hi, how you doing? I'm Ted Bundy. It's never full on creep. I mean, maybe sometimes it is, but Not in this case, at least. Big George said, sounds more like something from a porno where massage therapist just all of a sudden decides. That is not reality, Rusty Harden.
Yeah, and he was, and the thing that makes that whole interview really weird is he said, you know, I maybe there are guys in your audience who have been through this before. No, Rusty, literally no one has been through this before. Not everybody on the up and up anyway.
Never been accused of it. Well, never convicted. Never convicted. Yeah. Rye Guy says, hey, when you go pick up your PlayStation, tell them I sent you. Say, yeah, Rye Guy said so. Just blame everything on me, folks. Yeah, that's what you do. Good Cat says, thought of the day. If we all switch to cursive writing and driving stick shift cars, maybe we could cripple an entire generation. we don't want to cripple the ones we want to have take care of us later.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dropping the Soap says, I'm at Best Buy now picking up my PS5 and they just need to know the radio station's company credit card information.
Yeah.
Tell them to call K-Love. Packer Cracker says Rusty Hard on is Watson's lawyer name, or is that an ailment? I'm confused. Hefty says he was not using eggplant emojis in the messages then, was he? No, probably not. There's probably not that. But yeah, this is, I don't know. It don't look good though. You know, if there's evidence, if this one last person has the evidence of all the people somehow has any evidence, we may have seen the last of Deshaun Watson.
It's possible, but I mean, this is the civil side now.
This is civil because he's been somehow cleared of all criminal wrongdoing.
The NFL doesn't need the criminal wrongdoing. The NFL observes this and says, holy crap, looks like hundreds. Okay. We got to do, well, listen, we got to do a thing here. The only thing that Deshaun Watson has is, well, you didn't prosecute Bob Kraft.
The bottom line is,
and they actually arrested him.
Let's be honest. Deshaun Watson has 230 million reasons why he don't care. Well, thank you, Cleveland.
Whatever the guaranteed money is, you don't care.
230 million.
It's all guaranteed.
Guaranteed dollars.
This is why this is an upsetting contract for everyone in the league.
Thank you, Cleveland, and good night.
You didn't make a single incentive out of any of this. You literally guaranteed the whole thing. Why would you do that, you insane franchise?
Well, in hindsight, we're Cleveland. That's it.
I hate it because I have friends. Dr. Mack, a dear friend of mine, is a huge Cleveland fan. And I feel so bad for the fans of Cleveland because this is wrong, man.
What we knew was a dumb idea when they did it. We were just like, well, maybe they know something we don't. Maybe this is all going to go away. Nope. Turns out, nope. The Cleveland Browns know exactly what the Cleveland Browns have always known. Not much of anything.
They know that they needed a good player, and they did the dumb thing that they would have to do to get him. And now here we are.
You know what, Baker?
We're desperate. We're desperate.
You know what Baker Mayfield's doing today? He's leaning back
his ass
in his recliner.
It's about to get bad for the Browns. Hey, before we move on, let me give you today's man of the day. This is damn depressive. Happened last month in Australia. This dude had his dog outside there, and dog was like, look at that there. Crikey, there's a kangaroo attacking my dog. And so he goes after the kangaroo. Now, remember, they see the guy that's out there boxing the kangaroo, stun the kangaroo, and then the guy runs away. You're like, oh, that guy's crazy. You have no idea how badly a kangaroo will jack you up. They got giant claws. They can kick the crap out of you. Mm-hmm. You will generally lose a fight against a kangaroo. Don't ever try it. Well, this guy happened to be a former MMA trainer. And so he was like 6 minutes in the ring with this kangaroo, trying to keep him away from his dog. They boxed, they wrestled. The guy even picked up a stick, which, by the way, that's a foul. That is against the rules.
Picking up a stick?
Okay, yeah, you can't just pick up a stick.
To be fair, kangaroos have claws, and as a human being, you don't have claws. You got to level the playing field somehow.
Well, at the beginning, you walk up to the thing and they check your fingernails. Then you do like this. They check. Nobody checked that kangaroo's nails. So it's fair. I guess a stick is fair. Yeah. Then the kangaroo pulled a rule that's also against a move that's against the rules in MMA. He bit the finger on the guy. gouged his head, clawed his legs. So the guy did get a bit jacked up there, but he protected his dog, and you could say he won that fight with the kangaroo. So just tangling with the kangaroo, man of the day.
Yeah,
man, that he survived it. I mean,
Yeah.
he could have got killed right there. It's a wild ass animal. You know what I'm saying? And then of course, Fed fan, badass woman of the day.
Okay.
This is one of those things, all right. So there are city folk and there are country folk. Okay. And a bunch of New Yorkers were at a place in Brooklyn called Timken's Bar. And a possum just happened to wander in through the front door. Sounds like a joke. Possum walks into a bar. So this possum comes strolling into the bar. And of course, people, the minute he got there, freak out. One of the bartenders said she immediately grabbed her phone, but then she's like, who am I supposed to call? People are screaming. Luckily, one person was even the least bit scared. A lady named Sarah Fulton, standing outside. She saw the possum run in. And now she's originally from Alaska. So while everybody else is panicking, she walked into the bar, found it on the table, grabbed it by the scruff of the neck. And the possums are evil, scary, hissing, bitey little bastards. Okay. And she just walked in and she's like, I got you. Grabbed it, casually walked it back outside and released it. And it was on video, and it was just exactly as I described. People were cheering. And, other like, what was that evil demon looking thing? She's like, oh, it's a possum. And somebody said, oh, you mean opossum? They're like, get out of the bar. Shut up. Nobody likes you. But I'm not wrong. No, you're not wrong, but nobody likes you. Get out. So she says, she grew up with moose in her backyard. And she's like, I forget sometimes I'm not in Alaska. She was surprised how everybody was impressed. For the rest of the night, they were calling her hero, and she drank for free.
As she
Hey, why not? Why not, right?
So badass woman of the day, Sarah Fulton from Alaska, visiting New York. Not bad.
And yeah, you grew up with moose in your backyard, because moose, not unlike kangaroos, are animals that are very underrated in how destructive they are. They're cranky and they're gigantic.
Yeah.
Fully grown moose will just end your car.
Do not mess with a moose or a possum or a raccoon unless you're in the car.
Yeah. Don't mess with a raccoon for sure.
And even with the moose, if you're in the car, go around that thing.
Oh, no.
Your car is done if you hit a moose.
I would say stay in the car. I think my hitting this thing just did something. Is my microphone sound normal?
You are a little quieter than you were.
Hello.
Guess you won't do that again, Jeffco.
I may have hit my microphone too hard. It'll come back. Fed fan says, I saw that video. That lady was badass. Big George says, I don't know what evidence the prosecutor does or does not have in the Deshaun Watson case, but if there's some eyewitness testimony, video evidence, or audio, then the victim's story can be corroborated and the prosecutor's office should be able to proceed. Without some other corroborating evidence, though, it's tough to prove because it's a he said, she said situation, and that would be hard to survive a corpus delicti challenge from the defense.
And the thing with that, too, is these are 24 separate cases. And I don't know, Big George, if that changes the math on this, because he doesn't have to bet. He has to win all 24. They are, even though they're under the same lawyer, this is not one case. This is 24 separate cases. And how many flips of the coin do you want that you actually come out on the other side of this winning all of those cases? I don't think that that's how this is going to go down.
Of course, the other thing is, if they're waiting until these things are done, we're talking Deshaun Watson will get to play this year unless the NFL decides to do the commissioner exempt thing.
I don't know. Last week we were talking about it, Jeffrey, while you were on assignment, and there was some rumors coming out of the NFL that Deshaun would be suspended this entire year. He would not be allowed to play until 23. So I don't know if you saw that information, but Kian and I were talking about that.
I think I was here that day.
You might have been here that day. It kind of all runs together. But yeah, I do think that, and somebody texted in and said this, the Browns were aware that this might be a possibility. So there's almost no money in the first year of that deal.
Okay. Do I still sound weird, don't I?
Still sound a little light there.
I might have
punched out your mic.
Oh, gee, I just did it again.
You did it again. Yeah.
Why I've done that a million times. Is it okay? Do I just need to turn it up?
Probably.
You mean turn it up? There you go. There you go. How's that?
Better.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, how you doing, sexy? All right. I'll look at myself. Don't answer, please. That was just me. That was weird. I've never done that to a microphone before. Oh, now. Oh, dear God. What's
That's
going
too
on?
much. Oh.
Keep talking to me, Jeffrey.
Oh, boy.
I wasn't talking. Whoa.
I'm a sexy beast.
Keep talking.
My
to me.
microphone is going crazy. I put it right back where it was. Now it seems like it might be too loud. Or
It does. I've pulled you back a little bit.
Yeah. Pulled you back.
I'm a sexy beast.
All right, stop that, Randy.
What? Excuse me?
Just stop that. That's it.
Sorry, what?
That makes me I feel like this is a hostile work environment right now.
I'm a sexy beast.
All right, how's that? Is that normal again?
That is closer to normal.
I love how we do technical stuff on the air.
We have the best rehearsals. It's just so much fun. Hefty Lefty says the newest scheme in the arsenal of coordinators in the NFL, corpus delicti defense. Yes, that's it's always good to have that in your pocket. Fed fan says, hey, Deshaun, be thankful this didn't happen in Old Testament times. You'd have been dead right now. And Mr. Harden would not even have a client. Did they have lawyers back in Jesus's time?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Did they?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about that.
They had lawyers, they had courts, and if you were found guilty, you were stoned, which I'm sure Blissful Hayes. And
So a lot of this took place in Colorado.
yeah, and some of the other listeners we have would enjoy that. Yeah. But it's not the kind of stone they would think of.
Yeah. I like to read my Bible from the original text. Yeah. I like to read
What's
it from that. Huh?
Hebrew?
No, it's what's that called? Aramaic? I don't know.
Yeah.
Aramaic?
Well, yeah.
Greek?
Some form of it. Ancient Greek.
Greek and Aramaic.
I think it's a special text called the Grecian Formula. And,
Grecian Formula 55.
I like
right?
to read the Grecian Formula version of that. You know, if you're really, a hipster when it comes to that. Big George says, Randy was playing that sexy music on Friday every time Fed Fan and I were texting. It was very awkward.
Well, here's the problem. Every time, no, I wasn't playing the sexy music.
He
That's
played the
not
soap
true,
opera
George.
music.
It was the soap opera music because you and Fed Fan were going back and forth. Oh, George, I just love you so much. I'm going to overlook that comment you made about my Warriors. And then George would come back with, Fed Fan, I love the way you give the French Open updates. It makes my day brighter, like the stars shining in the heavens. And I was like, oh my God, I'm getting sick. And then Fed Fan would come back in. Oh, George, you're just so sweet, and your happy little lawyer thing that you do. And I couldn't stand it.
George is
that's
a
what I
married
was doing.
man.
I know.
This is awkward.
I know.
Kiss the Cook says, I don't need a court or lawyers to be stoned. I'll tell you that right now. Fed Fan says, you can read Aramaic? That's impressive, Jeffrey. What?
Yeah.
You can't? Come on. That was like one of the first things they teach you in third grade. All right, listen, we got to take a break. And when we come back, we'll talk some more football, actual football, not happy ending stuff. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
This is Brent Musburger's action update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic. Heads up, sports bettors. Right now, you can try VSiN All Access free for 30 days with no credit card required. Visit vsin.com/free month to sign up now.
Playoff action coming up on Tuesday night. The Eastern Conference Finals continuing in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Rangers and Lightning. The Rangers lead the series 2-1, but the home team has won every game so far, and the Lightning are favored on their home ice Tuesday night, paying out at -176 on the money line, while the Rangers pay out at +146. The over-under set at 5.5 goals. The NBA Finals continuing on Wednesday night in Boston. Game 3. Boston favored by 3.5. Over-under at 212.5. Finals right now even at a game apiece. For the latest odds all the time, visit vsin.com. I'm Matt Pauley on Arizona's sports betting station, 1580 The Fanatic.
By now, you know that sound. It's the sound of the Home Depot. But what about those sounds? Those are the sounds of a brand new ice maker dropping cubes into a fresh glass of water, making this the sound of savings on top brand appliances. The Home Depot. How doers get more done. Final days ends June 8th to save up to 30% off select appliances. Valid May 19th through June 8th. Gas range extra. While supplies last. See store for details.
Something you probably do know. Progressive can not only offer you a great price when you bundle home and auto, they offer you round-the-clock protection. Something you probably don't know, a driveway basketball hoop, including the base, weighs around 400 pounds. Something you probably do know, there's a windstorm coming. Something you probably don't know, a basketball hoop tipping over can poke a hole in a car roof like a can opener. Bundle your home and auto with Progressive and get more than a great price. Get round-the-clock protection, something you know for the things you don't know. Coverage from Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers, and subject to policy terms. Bundle discount not available in all states or situations.
Distracted driving kills in Arizona. Life is more important than your phone's beep. Stop the distracted driving, Arizona, please. Sponsored by the Arizona Chapter National Safety Council and the Governor's Office of Highway Safety, aired in cooperation with the Arizona Broadcasters Association and this station.
Remember when you could go to the doctor and actually leave feeling better? Hi, this is Dr. Stephen Katz. The problem with our healthcare system is the focus on the system and not on your healthcare. At the Naturopathic Physicians Group in Scottsdale, our doctors are experts in full spectrum healthcare using a natural approach. Patients come in for a variety of issues, including joint pain, chronic conditions, and issues specific to men and women's health. We help people find relief when other doctors have failed. Our naturopathic doctors can restore your pain-free life using cutting-edge regenerative treatments. We can also help restore balance to your immune, digestive, and hormonal systems. Addressing your cause can also improve both mental and emotional stability. If traditional medicines aren't working for you, don't you think it's time to start feeling like yourself again? Call us. We're the Naturopathic Physicians Group in Scottsdale, Arizona at 480-451-6161. That's 480-451-6161 or go to naturopathicgroup.com.
Arizona Rattlers football. Exclusively on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic. And at 1580thefanatic.com.
Oh, yeah, I like that.
Tune in to hear every home game live.
Let's go, boys.
Don't miss a second of all the high-paced action as the Rattlers chase another world championship.
Hey, we're going to win. It's going to be on us.
Rattlers football on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic. Or streaming live at 1580thefanatic.com.
Dave Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic, and we have a life or death question. Joe the Show says, quick, grass-fed Angus ribeye steak or USDA T-bone? Which one? Wow. Okay. You can't go wrong with a ribeye, but it depends on the marbling. I think you can't go wrong with a T-bone. Randy, what do you say?
I like to go with the ribeye if it doesn't have the bone in, because you're paying for all meat rather than bone meat and meat. See what I mean? So, I would go with the ribeye. I would trim it up nice. I'd put a little oak in my grill there, a little off-center heat. Put that on one side of the grill, or if you have a smoker, put that in there off the heat and let it sit there and grab some of that smoke. Put some of your spices on there. Oh my God, I love ribeye.
But here's the thing: as far as quality goes, if you grab the ribeye and the marbling feels hard, go with the T-bone, because you're not going to have a good time with that ribeye if it's not the right kind of marbling. It's a thing you always got to be careful of.
Yeah, just remember though, you're with the T-bone. Try to get the bone out.
Yeah,
T-bone.
get the New York strip.
Yeah, not the bone in.
There's no bone out T-bone.
Oh, there is actually a T-bone.
Not.
You get the
Where?
the New York strip and you get the fillet. Yeah, you get it together. It doesn't have the bone in it. Oh, yeah, it'll tell you it's a bone out T-bone. Yeah.
Send me a link on that. I've never seen a
Costco,
bone out
Sam's
T-bone.
Club. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I know that you can get a T-bone or a New York strip and a fillet. Put those together, and you're playing the home game of a bone out T-bone.
Well, you get those in one package. It's known as a boneless T-bone.
How am I this old and have never heard of this?
I don't know.
Never heard of this.
I'll try to find something and I'll send you a link.
Swave Dave says, Jeffrey, I may have a blender deal for you. What is the email? I'm not going to massage you. Going to tell you that up front. But whatever, blender at 1580thefanatic.com. That is the email address, Swave. Dave. May I call you Swave? Blender at 1580thefanatic.com. Joe the Show says, off center ribeye it is. You always go with Randy. You don't ever go with my advice. I'm a grill master too. I mean, steak is my strong point. Well, fine. I hope you get a good ribeye. Hefty Lefty says ribeye over T-bone. It's easier to keep even cooking because the filet cooks at a different rate than the New York strip. Not on my grill because it's rare. So
yeah, you just touch it with the fire. That's it.
Ready. Kiss the Cook says, my choice, I go with stuffed chicken breast. Why is there always one? Big George says, I went to the Home Depot yesterday in Carlsbad. I brought myself a new Maytag French door refrigerator there for the kitchen, the freezer fridge combo. And since they advertise on the Fanatic, I told them I heard about them on 15A the Fanatic. The guy at Home Depot didn't know what I was talking about. I guess he didn't get the memo they advertised in the Fanatic. Dude, you live in Carlsbad, California now. Of course they have no idea.
And so it's 102.7 the Fanatic. 102.7 the Fanatic.
Well, they don't know. That doesn't
102.7 the Fanatic.
No, Randy, that doesn't broadcast to Carlsbad.
102.7 the Fanatic.
It doesn't go to Carlsbad. They have to listen on the app, and they don't know any better. Besides, people in California are generally dumb. Baby Got Dak says, hi, guys. Saw this. Thought of Jeffrey and Randy. What's this? Here it is. A barbecue timer. If it's rare, it's 1 beer. If it's medium, it's 3 beers. If it's well done, 6-pack. Pork ribs, 12-pack. Pulled pork, 30-pack. Brisket, drunk as hell.
Yeah. That's good. 12 hours at 225, depending on the size of your brisket. Listen,
Sounds like
King, don't trim too much of that fat cap off of there. Put it in there, depending on what kind of a smoker you have or grill. Put the fat cap on top and let that fat, that goodness, that deliciousness rain down through your meat for a good 12 hours at 225 or until you hit that golden temperature.
My only apprehension is making sure there's no hard marbling in that ribeye. Because then you need like a chainsaw to get through it to get.
You get the gelatinous stuff. You're good. If you get that stuff, it's like concrete. Get that the hell out of here. But about a quarter of an inch of that fat cap.
Oh, sure. And no matter what that is, you're getting past that anyways. When you go into the steak,
22 hours.
Joe, the show.
Sorry. Yeah, 12 hours.
Big Chief Jeffrey says no hard marbling, so Joe will no hard marble this steak. Yeah, okay. Blissful Hayes says, it tops off a good ribeye. You bastard. One steak sauce. Blissful Hayes, you are disinvited from any future barbecue. How dare you, sir? Wow. Hefty Lefty says, didn't know you were a blue steak fan, Jeffrey. Good man. Fed fan says, Randy's just jealous because he wants Big George all for himself.
What?
There is a bromance thing there. Randy and Big George have a history where Big George helped Randy draft his very first fantasy football team at our very first fantasy football draft. So, there might be something there, Fed fan.
Ever since I've been on the air, Fed fan, and I'm sorry you're jealous of your guy, but he was my guy first. Back in the day, Fed fan, he was my guy.
He's always said
when I signed on, I've always said Big George is my guy. And when he comes down to the station, he's my guy. All right. So, Fed fan, you've never come down to the station, so you don't know. And that's all I got to say. Big George has always been my guy.
Yeah. He's my Chick-fil-A hookup.
He's all of our Chick-fil-A hookup.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Keon has not experienced that yet.
He's the tallest friend we have.
Oh, yeah.
It's also another fact there. So, Fed fan, you are not the tallest friend we have. You're the coolest chick. I'll give you that. Or is that wrong of me to say that?
No, I think it's cool.
I don't think she'd mind that. Other people might. Don't call her.
She would like
chick.
cool chick.
You're not.
She'd like cool chick.
Lowering her. Yeah, just like saying you're the coolest dude. She's the coolest chick. It's not like I'm saying that's all she is. It's just, I didn't say she's the coolest broad, dame, or skirt. I didn't say that. I said she's the coolest chick.
Yeah.
Like I say, it's not like a bad thing if I say you're the coolest dude. I don't know. Hopefully she's not upset, but I don't think she is. She's too damn cool to be upset by that.
Yeah, she's good. She's good.
Joe the show says, never have I ever made a steak that requires A1 sauce. That is blasphemy. Yeah, well, that wasn't you that said that. That was Blissful Hayes, and he will rot in steak hell. That's where hell is for Bliss. He's going to eat well done charred steak for eternity. Fed fan says, I call myself a chick all the time. See? Okay, good. All right. Thank you. Big George says, thanks, Randy. I should have said 102.7, the Fanatic. That would have cleared things up. Jeffrey's right, though. People in California do tend to be on the lower side of the IQ scale. But also back me up, George. You can't get that signal where you are in California. You're not getting 102.7. 0% chance. Just saying. So you have to listen to 1580 Fanatic, and you don't expect anybody to know either. So there.
You used to get Team 1010.
Be quiet. 888-368-1580.
Just saying.
He used to get 1580 AM all the way. I think when we get our power back up again, which is getting closer, when we get our power back up again, Big George will probably get us on that AM radio again. Right now, though, let's shift the conversation to a local friend of the show, Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Yes.
He has retired, and they're saying he's going to sign a one-day contract to retire with the Bills.
Oh, no kidding. With the Buffalo Bills? Wow.
That's what they're saying. That's the rumor.
Was that his first team?
Now, Ryan Fitzpatrick, 17 seasons, 9 teams. Wait, well, hold on. One was with the Jets, so like 8.5 teams. But still, how could you pick any of them to I don't think he needs to do that. Just retire, Ryan. Yeah, nobody cares what you retire as.
You know, our very own Dale Hellestray spent some time in Buffalo.
Okay.
Maybe there's some beauty.
Well, he
to
retired
Buffalo.
A Dallas Cowboy.
Well, yeah, but maybe there's some beauty in Buffalo we don't realize.
I think he was with Buffalo the longest.
Yeah, 4 years, but he also seems to appreciate their fandom. Remember the other day, last year, he was there at a game shirtless, hanging out there when they blew out the Patriots. So maybe you're right. Maybe he does want to retire a Buffalo Bill.
He did have some epic wins over the Patriots too. While
he sure did.
Buffalo.
He sure did.
Well, Ryan Fitzpatrick is one of the only people I know that could go shirtless in -0 temperature and still be warm. He's one of the hairiest men on the planet.
He's also one of the few guys who could get the Jets a winning record.
And there was an awful lot of liquor involved in that moment too, Randy.
Well,
he was warm for all the wrong reasons right there.
Well, he's got a lot of hair, got a lot of fur.
He is a furry man. And 17 years of a career, not bad. Not bad way to pile up some cash for the future. He's going to need it with all them damn kids. He's got a house full, man.
Well, and he's also an avid listener of the Daily Blender, and we appreciate that. So thank you, Mr. Fitzpatrick, and congratulations on your retirement, and enjoy.
He does pop up out of the woodwork on more than a few occasions. Now, we haven't completely verified that the texter known as Ryan Fitzpatrick is indeed Ryan Fitzpatrick, but we think it is.
They don't know.
I know, but we don't know. Listen, we don't know for sure it's not.
He's Blender fan until proven otherwise.
Yeah, he sent a picture. Now he's a well-known car guy, right?
Yeah.
And he sent a picture of his middle finger, weird crooked middle finger.
Did it have a lot of fur on it?
But it was a Corvette steering wheel.
A lot of fur on it.
Yeah, I had a little fur right there in this part right here. But
okay.
It was across the front of the steering wheel that said Corvette. So and it looked like a modern one too. So it wasn't like a Ted Danson special or something. I'm just saying, we have a high probability of it actually being Ryan Fitzpatrick. He is a local kid, so it is possible, not confirmed. I just want to be honest. Fed fan, she sent me a gift. Please don't send gifts. I just can't translate gifts. I can't even read it. It's moving too fast. It glitches out when you send stuff like that, guys. Sorry, I can't tell. Something about SpongeBob and steak sauce. I don't even know what to tell you. All right. So Ryan Fitzpatrick, kind of bummed out that he's leaving. He's always been fun. He's always been fun to watch, whether it was good or bad. It was always fun. This is baffling to me. This next headline. Let me just give you the headline. Matt Patricia could be calling offensive plays for the Patriots. What? Matt Patricia was the defensive coordinator. That was his thing. He was always the defensive guy. When he was a coach of the Lions, they're like, well, he's a defensive guy. Blah, 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 blah. But they're saying that now Josh McDaniels is gone, he might become the offensive coordinator. What is going? I thought Bill Belichick called those plays. What is going on in New England, people? And Berg, if you've got something to say about this.
Well, maybe Matt Patricia having a stint as a head coach, learning some things about the offensive side of the football, maybe he's developed some wrinkles that Bill Belichick liked and feels like he's going to give Matt Patricia the opportunity to call the offensive plays.
Because it went so well for him when he was the coach of the Lions.
Well,
right?
come on. It was Detroit. He did not have the personnel to execute his game plan. I mean, come on. It's the same story.
I mean, I don't know. I thought he was also terrible. But I will say they have obviously that void with McDaniels leaving. And I have seen that coaches, jump sides of the ball. Sometimes a guy that's a tight ends coach, jumps the other side of the ball. But I've usually seen it at the position group level. You don't usually see a guy who is the offensive coordinator or the defensive coordinator switch sides. That is kind of odd.
And Matt Patricia has been bad on both sides, if you ask me. You know what I mean? I don't think he's been all that damn good.
I think he's done a good job on defense when he's with New England.
He didn't. The Patriots were horrible at defense. You remember the only reason they survived the bad defense was with prolific offense that they had going. You can't give Matt Patricia any sorts of props for defense on that Patriots team.
I mean, you can a little. I mean, they've won some very low scoring games where, especially, this past season.
He wasn't running there. He's not been running their defense. He's been their senior football advisors. You can't even give him credit for that.
Okay, fair enough. But when he got the job in Detroit, he was pretty good. I don't think he had a terrible defense. And this is, by the way, despite the fact that Bill Belichick refuses to draft edge rushers, just won't do it. And they had a pretty solid defense despite all of that. I think he didn't work out in Detroit because he's just not a good coach overall.
Did you say because he's fat?
I said because he's not a good coach overall.
Why would you criticize him for being overweight?
Keon fat shaming Matt Patricia.
Right? What's next? Me?
Jeez.
I never said anything about Matt
Keon?
Patricia's weight.
Wow.
Only that Matt Patricia has laminated cards, but he has a pencil behind his head, but he can't write on it because the card's laminated.
So Pat Patricia, okay, mouth. I can't even blame COVID. It's been too far removed. Wow, Pat Patricia. All right. I got nothing else to say.
That's a Texture nickname right there.
Just gonna yeah. If anybody needs a Texture nickname, why not Pat Patricia? Good Lord. Let's just take a break because when we come back, we've got On This Date in Big Georgia sports history and other assorted things. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
By now, you know that sound. It's the sound of the Home Depot. But what about those sounds? Those are the sounds of a brand new ice maker dropping cubes into a fresh glass of water, making this the sound of savings on top brand appliances. The Home Depot, how doers get more done. Final days ends June 8th to save up to 30% off select appliances. Valid May 19th through June 8th, gas range extra, while supplies last. See store for details.
At Charmin, we heard you shouldn't talk about going to the bathroom in public, so we decided to sing about it.
My sweet cheeks feeling squeaky clean when Charmin's rolling behind the scenes. Charmin TP gives me those cheeky clean feels. That ultra strong hype is all for reals. Those TP rolls got me a Charmin clean took it. Cheek to cheek feeling oh so shook it.
Charmin Ultra Strong just cleans better. Enjoy the go with Charmin.
If you're an IT professional looking for an opportunity with great benefits and the freedom to creatively solve problems in a career with great growth potential and a team environment, look no further than Affinity Technology. Serving the Valley since 1992, Affinity Technology is looking for a level 1 tech to develop and deliver excellent solutions and outstanding customer service. Visit atechaz.com/jobs and get started with your future today. That's atechaz.com/jobs.
Did you know that Constructors Bonding has been Arizona's leader in surety management for over 40 years? Hi, this is Dave McKee, president of Constructors Bonding, inviting you to learn how our team can deliver better bonding than anyone, anywhere. Contractors, developers, attorneys, car dealers, and hundreds of other industries turn to Constructors Bonding for their bond solutions. Call me personally at 602-432-5929 to learn how Constructors Bonding is your solution for better bonding.
Hey everybody, Mark Asher back to tell you about my great friends over at the Lund Mortgage Team. Now, we've seen interest rates go as low as we've seen them in years recently. We've also seen them bouncing around. A lot of uncertainty of what is going on in the loan game as far as mortgages are concerned. That's why I lean on my friends at the Lund Mortgage Team. They have been in business for 20 plus years here in the Valley. They only lend in Arizona. They are trusted. They'll get you that reliable quote. And if you're thinking about refinancing, whether it's to just lower your rate, maybe lower the terms of your rate, maybe down to 15 or 20 years, or if you're like, hey, we got a lot of debt on the side, we got some problems going on, we want to consolidate debt, or I've always wanted a pool. Now's the time to do it. Take some of that equity out, refinance, and get things done around your house that you want. But you got to use the best in the business. That's the Lund Mortgage Team. 623-875-9940. 623-875-9940. Or check them out online, lundmortgage.com.
Your home for sports. 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. Joe the Show says, I heard it too. Keon said, doing it again. Matt Patricia is fat like the cap on my ribeye. Wow.
I said nothing of the sort. I said he was a bad coach overall. I don't. What are you hearing somehow?
Cardinal Art says, Keon's excuses on Fat Patricia is as useless as that pencil behind Fat Patricia's ear. Yeah, you said fat.
What excuses? I didn't. I am denying it. There's no excuse.
It's on the tape. I don't know.
I know. Okay,
Yeah.
good.
It's on the
Good.
tape.
I feel good about that.
All right, well, okay. Yeah, because you feel good about fat shaming a guy. Okay.
Well, I didn't fat shame.
Wow.
the guy.
That's all right. That's fine.
But
we
it'll
learn
work.
a lot. It takes a year, but
Don't
finally
worry.
the real Keon shows up.
It's on tape. All my innocence is on tape, so it's all good.
It's not on this tape. 888-368-1580. All right, before we get to the George's history here, a couple of memorabilia things. And, I feel like that the card market for memorabilia has just been completely jacked up by some ridiculous prices on cards that shouldn't rank that high. But here's a couple of things, jerseys that sold. And let's see if you guys think that this is ridiculous. Kobe Bryant's game-worn jersey from the 97 NBA playoffs sold for $2.73 million.
Wow.
Now,
2.73?
Is that too much?
Did they win that finals?
No.
97. No.
They lost to the Jazz in 5 games.
But game worn.
You have to think there's more game-worn jerseys out there. You know what I mean?
I think that was his first playoffs.
It's Kobe, though.
He lost.
Yeah, but it's a Kobe. Look what he turned into.
Okay, well, here's what he averaged when he was 18. 8.2 points a game, 1.2 rebounds, 1.2 assists. He did have a 22-point game against the Trailblazers, but in the first round. But
yeah, but
that's the one you're going to spend two. Does that mean that ones later on when he won with Shaquille O'Neal? It should be 5 million, 10 million.
I think it's just a milestone. So it's not
goddamn jersey.
It's not scaled on how much he did while wearing the jersey. It's Kobe's first playoff. And based on what we know Kobe turned into, that has value to somebody. I'm not doing it, but
okay. If I'm going to spend that for the jersey, the body better be in it.
Wow. So what would you pay for Kobe's 18-year-old jersey? What would you do?
Me?
Yeah.
I wouldn't. I hate the
You
Lakers.
wouldn't pay anything for it?
No. I don't want
Even
that
though
thing.
is it signed? Is there just the jersey?
Well, maybe you can get him sign it now.
I think it was the game worn.
Man.
Damn. I think it was just the game worn jersey. But it's the first playoffs of it, like the same, like Michael Jordan.
He lost.
Yeah, but Michael Jordan didn't win his first playoffs. But if a Michael Jordan game worn first playoffs jersey goes on the market, someone's going to bid insane amounts of money for it. The result is not what matters there because we know what his career turned out to be.
I don't think this was an auction that somebody just decided to buy it.
Okay.
They're like, yeah, I'll buy that from you. How much? 2.73 million.
Yeah. I was just like, who are you bidding against? Surely you could have gotten them to knock a mill off. I don't know.
Seems no. I'm sorry. That was auctioned. You're right. No, that was actually auctioned. It was the second highest bid for any game worn basketball jersey ever. So, my mistake. It was an auction. So maybe somebody got in the heat of the moment. You know how it is. The people are trying to bid each other. Like, no, I want this more than you. Rich people. Let's see. How about Wayne Gretzky's final Edmonton Oilers jersey? $1.452 million.
I mean, in Canada, there are
nobody in Canada has this much money. You've seen the exchange rate.
Well, I would have to say I would have to disagree with you there, Jeff Gray. These guys come to town here and they buy up a bunch of housing. They got plenty of money up there in the Great White North.
It's all invested in our damn houses.
And if you're talking about Canadians, see, when I think of the Great One, I think of him in that Edmonton Oiler jersey, though.
This was an Edmonton Oiler jersey. This was worn during the 87-88 playoff run. Yeah. Oilers won their 4th of 5 Stanley Cup titles during that run. This one makes more sense to me than the Kobe. They won.
I mean, look, if I had the money and I'm a hockey fan and I'm a Wayne Gretzky fan, hell yeah, I'm going to do it.
I feel like instead I could just buy a hockey rink for my house.
Well, I get that, but I mean, if you're a memorabilia person,
I don't know. People like holding on to those milestones in a career.
Here's the thing: they don't hold on to them. They're in a case. You never wear it. You never touch it. You never get to play with it.
Well,
why
they
just
like
having it?
Why? You don't want to get a mustard stain on it. You don't want to get a ketchup stain on it. Hell, hey, you don't want to have it go out there when you're smoking a brisket. You don't want to wear it out there.
I'm going to wear it. If I'm going to pay for it, I'm wearing it. If I buy some jersey for $1 million, you goddamn right I'm wearing it. I ain't paying that much for something that sits in a box or a frame.
Some guy from Knuckles, some guy named Knuckles from Saskatchewan is going to thump you in a dark alley and take your jersey from you.
I'm also not going to wear I didn't say I was going to wear it out. I'm going to wear it around the house. I'm not going to just leave it in a case.
Well, I mean, I guess that's your prerogative. But if you get the Lemon Pledge Joy or whatever it is on there, you get that on there, it's going to ruin it.
That we watch the games? Do we have to own pieces of things? Do we have to? How about isn't it just enough to experience it and see it and
but it's a piece of reality.
Piece of nothing now. It's just a thing. It's a thing.
Yeah,
no thing is worth that much money. I'd rather spend that 1.4 million or that 2.7 million on future experiences than some dusty, musty thing that sits in a frame or hangs in a closet.
The problem gives a crap with your logic there is that the kind of person who can spend money on this can still spend money on future experiences. There's not an either or for somebody that rich. If you've got $2 million to drop on a jersey, you've got the future.
Who's impressed by this? You bring people to the house. Well, there's Kobe's jersey. Oh,
you're
a douchebag.
It's
because now you're flaunting your wealth by saying, "Oh, look, there's a Kobe."
If you've got $2.7 million supply of jersey, you might just be that person. But
people
also
who take you on tours of their house and show off their stuff are douchebags.
People like to have those physical ties to the experience that they had. It kind of just helps them feel that moment again.
Randy White is awesome. When we were at his house for his birthday, he didn't take us around the house and show stuff off. I stumbled across his epic sword hanging on the wall, and I was like, oh my God, that's awesome. Randy didn't douche us out by going, here's my sword, here's this thing, here's that thing. It's just, welcome to my house. This is my house.
Not everybody.
And so if somebody has a Kobe thing, that douchebag's going to go, and here's my Kobe game-worn jersey, cost me $2.7 million, but it's worth it. Douchebag.
Maybe they'll do that, but maybe they just want
100%,
to have
100%. You don't buy stuff like that without doing that.
I disagree. Some people just like to have, like The Rock just has this giant T-Rex head. He wasn't pointing it out.
Which was conveniently positioned in the frame when he was on the Manning brothers.
I think he's had that on his wall forever.
He purposely framed the shot so you'd see, my God, he's got a T-Rex head there.
He's The Rock. He's filthy rich. There's no place at his house he could put up his computer that wouldn't have something behind him that we would all covet. I'm just sorry. That's just
douche move. Do you ever see more than this part of my house?
You're not rich like The Rock is rich. He has stuff everywhere, I bet he's got stuff just all over the place. If he set up somewhere else,
but that's because I don't do a douche move, do I?
Rich people crap.
You see this much of my house?
Jeffrey would be like, "Welcome to my home."
I don't know. I just think people like to have the.
You want to play MTV Cribs? Let's play MTV Cribs, guys. Just come on. It's a douche move.
I mean, I get it, but there are people out there that want to pay that kind of money. And if I
It's
had
their
that
money,
kind of money,
sure.
because you get to. It's like touching history for them, basically.
it is. It's like being there. I mean,
Oh,
if they
touch
tore
it?
down if they tore down
sniff the jersey.
Jeffrey, if they tore down the Memorial Coliseum,
Yeah.
and they were offering seats
Mm-hmm.
for sale, like they did when they did the remodel at Fenway, and they
Sure.
sold a bunch of the seats from Fenway, and there were
Yeah.
fans there buying a Fenway Park. Wouldn't you go buy a seat from the Memorial Coliseum?
It's a little bit different to buy something you could actually use. I can sit in that seat. No one's
Well,
going to go,
I mean,
don't touch that seat. I got that. No.
I get it though, but it's still a piece of history, right?
Yeah, that's a cooler piece of history than a
and
game-worn jersey for
and
an
if you pay
ungodly amount of money.
If you pay $1 million for the Great Ones jerseys, last jersey from Edmonton, you could wear it around your house. You could wear it wherever you want to. That's your prerogative.
I'll leave that for other people. You know, if I have that kind of money, rather than spend $2 million on a jersey, maybe I'll donate $2 million to some homeless shelters or some abused women's places or stuff like that. Maybe I would do those things.
I'm more in line with you, but I understand the thought process of it. Like, it's not insane to me that somebody would do that.
I didn't say it was insane. I just
want
seemed
to
like
buy
a
a
bit
tank.
much for a losing jersey. That
To
was a
me,
losing jersey.
I'm kind of consistent with it through. I don't care if it's a winning jersey. I don't care. It's a jersey. But I understand why people.
What if it's the jersey he wore in that Colorado hotel room?
Well, he couldn't have, because that was 96.
You don't know anything.
Well, the Colorado hotel room happened later, so it couldn't have been.
I have jokes. I'm going to stop there before I get in trouble. Will not make any brown stain jokes at all on the jersey. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do those.
Damn.
Devin Booker says, I bet. I'm sorry. God, my mouth today.
Devin
Fed fan
Booker is
says,
texting our show?
No, Fed fan says, I bet Devin Booker bought it. That would make sense. That would be a thing that did make sense because he was friends with him. Joe the Show says, if I had money, I would buy Kobe's rookie signed jersey 3 times over. Rest in peace, Black Mamba. Hefty Lefty says, I got pieces of the Berlin Wall from when it was torn down. My parents took a few pieces before moving back from Germany.
Wow.
That's pretty cool. Tiger Paws says, what's the difference between a jersey worth that much and a piece of original art worth that much? Well, one was painted.
You can't use the art though. I mean,
I can look at it and go, that's a very pretty picture. I very much like this picture. But I kind of agree though a little bit, Tiger Paws, because you're like, okay, I could get a copy of that for $50
really,
and hang it on the wall and appreciate it just the same.
Yeah.
You know?
And then, with the jersey, you go, okay, well, one of the best basketball players I've ever seen in my life wore that. And I feel like you get the same appreciation.
No, Fed Fan has something going. She's got something for sale. She says, I got a Meadowlark Lemon autographed basketball and a signed t-shirt of Mario Andretti. I will sell them for $2 million.
Hope you got some takers.
I guess we're going to have to broker that for you. We'll get 10% off that, Fed Fan, because you don't have Twitter. So we can help you. So yes,
30.
Any offers, 10%. Come on, Randy. Let's be kind about our percentage here of the $2 million. It's time now, ladies and gentlemen, for On This Date in Big George's sports history. Back in the year 2006, on the 6th day of the 6th month of the 6th year of the century, the Los Angeles Dodgers scored 6 runs in the 6th inning during the 6th game of a homestand, beating the New York Mets 8-5. All those 6s are just proof that the Dodgers are evil. Back to me, Jeffrey.
Yeah, pretty sure he's true. Yep.
666.
Yep.
Too many sixes.
Double 666.
That is the number of the debile, according to ancient manuscripts. So I don't know what more proof you need to say that I don't hate the Dodgers, but they do seem to be evil right now.
I mean, have they not taken up the mantle of the evil empire with the amount of cash that they throw around?
Well,
I mean, there's no empire.
The Yankees are the evil empire.
Yeah. I'm just saying that
the Yankees are the team to beat right now.
And keep in mind, the evil empire didn't win either. You know, they got blown the hell up. Everyone's like, how did that happen? The Rebels were the underdog story, right? So here come the Yankees again, spending money on that Death Star, and it'll take some team to find that exhaust port. Boom, there you go. By the way, Darth Vader's the biggest loser ever. Seriously, you couldn't see that coming. One exhaust port, you couldn't put like a grill over the top of it, come on, like a drain. Like I've got
Come on, man.
You know,
You're not wrong.
you can't see that coming. One exhaust port, you build a thing that covers like on my house, I have one. I got one on my house. I got a thing on there so the birds can't crap in it.
I mean, look, he's got the big old mask on. They probably showed him the plans, and he couldn't really see it.
Can't put like the rat guards on there so the rats don't get in your attic. Come on.
It's like part of Darth Vader wanted those Death Stars to get blown the hell up.
I think you're right.
You know,
that's a good point, Jeffco.
That's aggravating. FedFan says Jeffrey speaks Aramaic, so he is telling the truth. Thank you, FedFan.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate that. Hefty Lefty says Vader didn't plan the Death Star. Well, always some guy does the plans, but somebody else could look at it and go, excuse me, there's a hole right there. If something ever happened to, you'd destroy the whole damn thing right there. Somebody should have pointed that out. That's all I'm saying. See you guys tomorrow at 3 p.m. Daily Blender, 1580, The Fanatic.